KJAC Live, the show where I fumble and bumble my way through things, and you fix my mistakes, tell me where I'm wrong, and hopefully we all learn something along the way. We had to delay this one. It was scheduled for earlier in the week, and it got pushed, and I apologize for that, but as everybody knows, sometimes life gets in the way. So, a few of you have already said hi on the chat, and I appreciate that, but let's go ahead and do a full roll call at this point. And while you're doing that, I'll explain what we're going to be doing today. Dougie Doug, what's going on there? Oh, Hitman. Okay, fantastic. Everybody say hi to my friend Dougie Doug / aka Hitman down there. He's one of the fine individuals that flies with me in that virtual fighter group with the F-18s. Great guy. He said he was going to be hopping on today. He's probably going to be making fun of me the whole time. So let's see. The FS is louder than me. Let's start by doing this. Does that help at all there? Probably not. Let's see. Let me go. How's that? Is that a little bit better, guys? We are outside too, so it's going to be a little bit louder on the outside. But can you guys hear me over the aircraft now? No, that's not better? Okay. Let's see. Here's another option. Then you guys have all seen me have to deal with this about 100 times. Let's go in here and turn that all the way up. And how's that? Is that better now? We doing good? Everybody able to hear me? Just about. I'll tell you what. Let's just go ahead and hop inside. Real quick before I hop inside, I'll talk as loud as I can here. Just want to take a quick look at the paint scheme done on this aircraft here. It's done really well. You see there's all the weathering on here and stuff like that. It's fantastic. I love it. They did an excellent job modeling this aircraft. But let's hop inside. It's nice and quiet in here. Can everybody hear me now? I'm waiting. Still waiting because there's a delay, so I can look on the screen over here and I can see that. There we go. Now it's hopped inside. Can everybody hear me without any problems? All right, that's fantastic. So yeah, let's go ahead and finish getting the roll call in there. I thank you all for welcoming Dougie Doug aboard there. Great guy. We have a lot of fun doing the virtual fighter stuff. In fact, we're going to be doing some stuff here. Looks like we're making a move to P3D actually, which I know some of you have been wanting me to do that anyway, and I just haven't really had anything to push me in that direction yet. And well, guess what? I love flying these fighters with these guys. We have a lot of fun doing the missions that we do, and because of some current limitations with the F-18 that we use in DCS, it looks like we're going to be using the VRS Superbug in P3D for a little while. They're doing some testing on it right now to make sure it's going to meet all the parameters we need it to, and then we'll be diving in and having some fun with it there. So go ahead and finish up the roll call. If you haven't already said hi on there, please do me a favor and say hello, just so that we know you're listening in. You don't have to join in the chat if you don't want to. And obviously what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be dealing with the Leonardo MadDog MD-80. Now, that being said, I've flown this aircraft a total of one time. Absolutely one time I've flown it. I flew it the other day with my friend Eric Easy. He'll probably be on here a little bit later, and I'm sure he'll have plenty of things to correct me on. Some of you may be pretty familiar with this aircraft, and if you are, then you'll probably be correcting me a lot along the way, because this thing is quite complex. They did a fantastic job with this. One of you mentioned that you were looking to get an MD-80 and you've been a little bit on the fence. There's this one and one other that Easy told me about the other day that looks pretty good too. So I'll try to remember to pull up that email and point you in the right direction for that one. And apparently it's pretty much as good as this one, if not maybe just a skosh better. But this one's a pretty good time. It's very in-depth. That being said, take a look over here. This is 41 or 44, I don't remember which. 40-something pages of tutorial flight for this aircraft. I've gone through it an extra time this morning trying to get prepared for this flight, and I'm still stumbling all over the place. So we're going to have a good time with this. We're going to be fumbling, bumbling, but it should be a lot of fun. The flight today is from KSNA, and I'm going to hop back outside now. I know it's going to get a little loud, but I do want to show you the scenery. So, and I know that's really loud, but this is the Latin VFR scenery for John Wayne International Airport, and I think it got a little quieter as we moved away there, so that's fantastic. I don't know why it's so loud, because nothing's actually running on the aircraft right now. But again, I just wanted to show you the scenery. They did a beautiful job on it. It looks fantastic. There is a unique takeoff procedure, excuse me, from this airport, and I don't even know if I can do it properly in this MD-80. I've done it before in a 737, PMDG 737. It's really easy to set it up with the change in the thrust. But basically, once you hit 800 feet, you got to roll back the throttles and reduce your climb substantially. It's a noise ordinance thing, because all the rich folks that live over here don't like the airplanes taking off. I mean, I don't know why you'd buy a house near an airport if you don't want to hear airplanes. You know, I live relatively close to Luke Air Force Base, and we hear the F-16s and now the F-35s flying over all the time. And I love the sound of them. Doesn't bother me at all. But you sign a thing when you buy a house in this area that says, hey, there's noise from these aircraft, and you know, you need to accept that in advance. And then people sign that, and then, you know, 6 months later they're filing complaints with the Air Force Base. I mean, give it a rest, people. But anyway, so we're going to start digging through this here, going through the full startup procedures. I am going to skip a few things here, and I'll mention them when I skip them, because there's some things in here that literally it takes long as it is to do it, you know, some of the testing stuff you do for startup, which is the right thing to do, because this thing is actually set up to have service-based failures and all of that stuff. So you fly it enough times and you don't do everything properly, eventually you're going to have failures, but we're not going to have that problem today, so I'm not worried about it. But also because I still struggle to find where some of the stuff is. The flows and whatnot in this aircraft are not very intuitive, in my opinion. And that's not that surprising, because I'm much more familiar with the more modern aircraft like the 737, NGX, and so on. With those aircraft, you know, a lot of the systems are automated. You know, it's all about crew resource management and so on, where that wasn't quite the case when this aircraft was built. So you should get plenty of coughing today. I know I cough a lot, but my allergies are acting absolutely freaking ridiculous. So we ready to dive in here? Anybody got any questions or anything before we get started on this? Nothing? Crickets? Okay, I have one last question. Because I'm going to be spending a lot of time looking at this, I'm going to be looking away from the camera a lot with my head down over here. And so I was originally considering having the camera turned off. It's up to you guys. I can leave it on if you want, or I can turn it off so you don't constantly see me looking down over here. So I'll leave it on for a couple minutes as I get started here, and then I'll take a look and see if you guys want me to turn it off. Just put in there, please turn the camera off, and I'll turn the camera off. That being said, we're going to jump right in. And the first thing, obviously, we need to do here is we need to get the battery turned on. That's going to be up here on the overhead. And when you look at this overhead, again, it's not a very intuitive flow. You know, with most aircraft, there's kind of a flow that goes up and down, and the panels are all kind of separated. Not quite so much here. You're gonna see that we bounce around quite a bit, and not everything is in a space that, you know, it seems like it's where you'd want it to be. But what we want to do is we want to start by flipping on the battery here. Sorry, I had to catch my breath. And that's this guy right here. Now, with all the switches in here, or most of the switches, you've really got three options. You can left click, right click, you can left click and drag to move a switch, or you can roll the mouse wheel. With some of them it's better to click, with some of them it's better to roll the mouse wheel, and so on. Like with the starters here, it's better to roll the mouse wheel because you have to actually hold the starter switch down while observing your instrumentation down here. So when we get there, you'll see what I'm talking about, and it's just better to use the mouse wheel because then it just holds in place. So here's our battery right here. We're going to drag that down, and then we're going to drag it to the side, and that locks it into place. All right, so we want to drag it down, and then again left click and hold and drag it to the side to lock it in place. And now the battery is on the aircraft, and we want to make sure that our selector knob, this guy up here, is rotated to battery voltage so that we can observe the voltage here and make sure that it gives at least 25 volts, and that's the 25 mark right here. Volts on the bottom, amps on the top. So we have at least 25, and we're good to go on that. Now we're going to check the windshield wipers and make sure that they're in the off position. That's this guy down over here, which if they were on, they should start wiping anyway, so we know they're in the off position and we're good on that. Landing gear lever is down, and now we got to change views, of course. So landing lever down, that's this guy over here. She is, we're good to go on that. Auxiliary hydraulic pump switch needs to be off, and this is kind of in a funky little spot. Zoom down over here, and that's this switch right here, needs to be in the off position, which it is. Flaps and slats need to be in the up or retracted position. This is the lever right here, and if I pop up just a little bit, you can see that it's all the way up in the retracted position. And then the speed brake lever needs to be retarded and disarmed, and that's this guy over here, of course, and it's retarded and disarmed. Okay, moving on then. Let's see here. Does anybody want me to? Did anybody say they want me to turn off the camera? What kind of allergies do I have? Jesus. I live in Phoenix, man, and every allergy on the planet exists here. It's ridiculous. This used to be where everybody came to get away from allergies, but they were all brilliant about it and brought all the plants with them that produce allergies, and so now this is like the allergy capital of the United States. Ridiculous. I never do what? He never does. Most ATC sucks. Oh, Dougie, were you asking if I use ATC? Yeah, I've been looking for a while for a good add-on ATC, and I know there's a couple decent ones out there, but in general they suck, and so I'm just not using it right now. But eventually I'm probably just going to suck it up, and we're going to use an ATC program that's halfway decent anyway. Hey, KJAC, great to have you aboard, buddy. Thanks for joining us. Who else we got on here? Shivam? I guess that's what we'll call you, Shivam. Let's see here. Welcome aboard. Dougie Doug, of course, is here. Cyril Black is on board. Fantastic. No, I'm not using VAT. You know why I don't use VATSIM and IVAO, guys? I've brought this up before. I've mentioned in some of my videos, because they keep hitting YouTubers and live streamers with copyright infringement violations. It's driving me nuts. They've done it probably 20 different times now, just out of the blue. It's like they randomly pick somebody who's streaming, and they say, hey, yeah, let's go ahead and hit this guy with a copyright violation. So what they do is they tag your YouTube channel and say, yep, copyright violation. And YouTube, what they do is, you're guilty till proven innocent. They basically put your channel into bad standing. They limit you to 10-minute video clips while they investigate what's going on. I'm not going to deal with that crap. You know, I don't know why those guys are pulling that nonsense, but I'm just not going to deal with it. So I will not be doing flights on VATSIM or IVAO until that nonsense stops. Brett, great to have you aboard. Thanks for joining us. Glad to have you here. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on here, because this is going to actually take a while, and it's kind of a long flight too. So we need to align the standby horizon indicator, and what you do here is you just left click this a few times and you see it aligns it. I'm assuming that's what you do in the real world too, is you give it a few pulls and then it aligns it. So there we go. Let's see, strobe lights need to come on. So this needs to go to both. I just left click and drag on that. And let's see, the wing and the cell lights need to come on. Left click and drag that one down as well. And then we're going to push on the master caution and the master warning lights to reset them both. That's what it says anyway. So 5 and 6, they're not even blinking. I don't know why it wants. Oh yeah, they are. There we go. Push them. There we go. Reset them both, and we're good to go on that. That's page 1. Alright, now before we start the APU, we have to do the fire loop test. Now this one, I've messed with it a bunch of times. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Not really sure why, but it seems like what we have to do is left click and then move the mouse away. Now I can let off the mouse button, but it's still holding down that button there. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the loop B button. Okay, and now it's going to keep saying that over and over again. So here's the thing. What it tells you to do in the tutorial doesn't work. It says to left click one and right click the other. Let me just click one to shut them off. It says to left click this one and to right click this one, and then it'll start doing the test. But if I left click and let go and right click and let go, it doesn't do anything. So I found the only way to do it is to left click and hold it, and as you're holding it down, drag the mouse away, and now I can let off the button. And when I do that, it's actually holding that button down, and I have to click the button again for it to pop up. So I don't know if you can see it. It's actually popping up there. Let me zoom in a little bit. So if I left click, you see the button went down, drag the mouse away. Now I let go of the mouse, and the button stays down. And then I do the same thing on this one, and now they both stay down. And now if I just left click either one of them again, it pops up and the test stops like that. And so we're good to go. Okay. Let's see. We're supposed to check a whole bunch of stuff when we do that. So let's hold them both down here. We want to make sure these lights here come on. The master caution and master warning lights are supposed to come on, which is these guys here, obviously, on both sides. What else? We're supposed to get a fire detector notification on here. It says right there, fire detector loop. And then there's one more panel up top. We're supposed to have these red lights on down here, and then up here. Is it this one? Yep. These guys up here are all supposed to be on, which they are. And I've heard that long enough. So then when we turn it off, all of that stuff is supposed to go back off, which it did, so we're good to go on that. Oh, my nose itches too. Let's see. Doesn't one of my favorite YouTubers use VATSIM? Truth is, yeah, actually a couple of YouTubers that I watch pretty regularly use VATSIM, and a couple of them have actually run into that very same issue. So, Z-Walla, great to have you aboard. Hey, if you guys haven't had an opportunity yet, Z-Walla recently started his own YouTube channel, and I subscribed to it, and it's pretty darn good. I liked it. I liked that first video. It was pretty neat. So, if you get a chance, hop on over. Z, you got a link to your YouTube channel there? Go ahead and throw it in there. Cold showers for a month. I already take cold showers. No, not really, but you haven't seen me live streaming forever, huh, Chick? Well, I've done a few of them. You just haven't been joining us. I blame you for that. Okay, let's go ahead and press on here, guys. Okay, so we're ready to fire up the APU now, so we need to put the start pump switch to on. Okay, and so I spent a lot of time looking around trying to find everything, and I still don't know where everything is. But here's the start pump switch down here. This is to turn on the APU. But to actually flip the APU on, we come up over here, and you drag it down to the start position. Okay. Actually, no, if you drag it to start and then let go, it hops back to run, and you see it's not actually doing anything. But if you roll the mouse wheel down to start, it stays there, and now you can see the APU starting to spin up. So we want to let the APU spin up here. Once it, let's see, once it reaches 35%, then this little light down here, there was a light that came on here that said the APU was starting up at 35%. It goes off. APU spins all the way up to 100%. And once that's done, we should get a notification right here. This should say, there it is, light just came on, APU power available. So now that the power is available, we can just use the mouse wheel to roll those down. And there we go. Now we're on APU power. Fantastic, right? What else we got going on over here? Yep, there we go. Z-Walla put a link on there, so go ahead and take a look at his YouTube channel, guys. Like I said, pretty darn good video there, and he's going to keep pressing on. You know, if you look at my first videos, boy, they were rough. So I think Z-Walla did a better job on his first video than I did. So, yeah, if you guys get a chance, hop on over there, subscribe to his channel, and give him some support, just like you guys have done for me, which I think I've mentioned it before. Hey, thanks for following there, Dougie Doug. I sure appreciate it, brother. But yeah, hop over to Z-Walla's channel there and give him a follow or a subscribe there, and help support his channel and get it up and running. I'd appreciate that, guys. And I think I've mentioned it hundreds of times before, maybe, but I really appreciate all the support I've gotten from you guys. You know, it really makes this worth it, makes it a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and press on here. Okay, so we've got the APU power light on. We don't need to mess with any of that. We do need to move the APU air to the on position, and that's this guy hiding right up here, so we'll just drag that down to on, and we're good to go there. And then check the air pressure in the center duct, and I got to go to the next page to see the little thing here. Which one is it? It's under the pneumatic pressure, actually, which is hiding down here. So we need to make sure that that air pressure is, let's see, it doesn't actually say how much, okay? It just says to check it, but it takes about 60 seconds for the APU to warm up, and with as much as I talk on here, it's probably good to go now. So we want to open the right pneumatic cross feed, which is way down here actually. And these will stump me later, I promise. I will get stumped later by these. Because I remember the flight that I did with Easy the other day, and that I was confused by those. Move the right air conditioning supply to the auto position. This is another weird one here because it's kind of hiding. But if we come up here, right air conditioning supply should be right here. We want to move the right one to the auto position. There we go. Who's having fun so far? Oh, dropping another video this week. Fantastic, Zuwala. Where are you flying to? Let us know. Did I look into the program for recording? Which program? Refresh my memory, because I've had a ridiculously busy couple of weeks here. So refresh my memory, and then I'll answer that question. Let's see. Okay, we're supposed to test the interphone communication system by increasing the PA volume, which is down over here. I'm going to change views. So we bring the PA volume up by just rolling the mouse wheel, and then from there, now you think, okay, so we're going to test that, right? But no, instead we're going to go and we're going to move the emergency lights to the on position and verify that the emergency light notification says not armed. So come back up here. Now I got to find them again. Now you guys all know I struggle with finding the emergency lights. I don't know what it is about emergency lights, but I always have a hard time with them. So I'm looking on here for the little indicator. Ugh, I'm dying here. Hold on a second. That is not an advertisement, just saying. Where is the emergency lights? There they are. We got to move them to the on position, so I drag it all the way down. And we should verify that the emergency light not armed enunciation is displayed down here. Emergency light not armed, which it is. And then check the only emergency light present in the cockpit, which is on the aft overhead. And it's supposed to be on. This guy. But it's not on. It's never on. It never turns on. I don't know why. So we've checked it. It doesn't work. It's noted. Now, we leave that as it is, and right click on the attendant call button, and it's supposed to bring up this little menu. Here's the attendant call button here. Right click it, and it doesn't do anything. It doesn't bring up the little menu. Now what's annoying about this is when I first did this, first time I did this, it did bring it up. So I don't know. You can see the PA volume didn't do anything. It should be up, but it's not. The PA is not even on at this point. So yeah, I don't really know what's going on with this whole test, but it ain't working right. So I can do the attendant call, but for some reason I can't pull up this little menu. And here's what the little menu is supposed to be. Let me see if I can get that in front of the camera. So that's the little menu that's supposed to pop up, and it has popped up in the past. I've gotten it to pop up, and now it doesn't for some reason when you right click this. Now it's possible that what I need to do, if I go to the two-dimensional view here, wow, that is so not what I was looking for. Why did it do that? It's not supposed to do that. Okay, let's go back there. Or not. Do it the easy way. Let's go. Come on. Wow, this thing's being wicked slow, huh? I know why it's doing that. There we go. That's the view I was looking for. When you're in this two-dimensional view here, if you mouse over, you see you get all these little pop-ups right here. Let me try popping up the left one here and turn up the PA volume. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. It's there or there. That's it. So let's turn that one up. Let's turn that thing off. Let's go back to the normal view here, and let's see if that works. Nothing. Won't pull it up. So Not going to be able to do that. I don't know what the deal is, because you can use that to start boarding and have them prepare for takeoff and all that stuff as well, but we're not going to be able to do that. So let's see. So the emergency light switch needs to go back to the arm position. Let's roll the mouse wheel one up. Somebody's buzzing in here. Is this you buzzing in, Dougie Doug? This is on a little chat thing we use here. Let's see. Yeah, is that you asking what user I was streaming as, Doug, on the little chat there? Let me look on here real quick. Yeah, the APU's running, chick. We just set that up. Zwalla. You didn't put on there, Zwalla, which program you were talking about. Oh, you asked what I used to record in our email. Okay, I'll have to go back and take a look at the email, to be honest with you, because I don't recall at the moment. So, yeah, yeah, it's me. He puts it on the chat, and he puts it on the chat here, and he puts it on the little chat thing we have there. All right, let's move on. Let's see. We switch on the PFD and the nav display from the IFS control panel. Now, this thing's a little weird. It took me a couple of tries to figure it out. So, if I sit here and I scroll this thing up, I get that up there, but I get nothing down here, right? And it's like, what's going on? So let me turn that one down first. You can do it either way, but if I scroll the outer wheel, not this one here, but the white one, okay, you see I get the same thing down below here, right? And then as soon as I scroll this one, you're going to see that this bottom display is actually going to change. Now, I don't know if that's how it works in the real aircraft, but that's how it works on here. So, there you have it. And if I want to change this like to map view, it's this knob over here. Now, I do like the fact that almost everything in this aircraft works. It's clickable or rotatable or whatever. So, it's pretty awesome. But you have to do it on both sides. I didn't realize that until like halfway through my flight last time. So, scroll it up on both sides. There we go. We're good on that. And what comes next? That's done. That's done. That page is done. Alright, now we got to test the digital display and advisory lights by pushing and holding the announce digital lights test. And it's not actually called that, which is kind of obnoxious. It's, where are you at here? It's this guy right here. This is the test. And what we're doing is we're testing all of the annunciator lights and all of the warning lights. Now, if I click it, you see lights come on, right? I let off, but there's a ton of lights that are supposed to come on down here, and you see a few of them just went away, but not all of them were even on. So this is one of those times when you click and hold and then move the mouse away, and now I can let off the button, right, and it'll stay on, and now you can see everything's lit up down here, all kinds of fun stuff going on, and that's how we actually test that. And then once we're done, once we've verified that everything's working the way it's supposed to, all the lights are on and dinging, and I just got ATC popping up in my, there we go. I got to change all those so ATC doesn't pop up in my headset anymore. And then I just click it again and the lights go back off. Alright, so we're good on that. Let's see, we've verified that all the display lights are working. Now we do the autopilot test. Now, with this one, if I flip the autopilot on, the idea is you're supposed to verify that using whatever button you've linked to it actually turns it off. So for me it would just be the Z button, and then you see it's blinking there. You hit Z again and that gets rid of the little warning indicator there. But if I just flip it on and leave it on for a second, it'll turn itself off too, because we're sitting on the ground and we don't have engines running. And then you have to hit whatever key you've linked to your autopilot to turn off the little blinking indicator light there. Okay, IFS test. You're going to set the VHF nav 1 and 2 to a non-local ILS frequency. Set the decision height to 100 feet. Alright, so we set the nav radios right here, and I'm pretty certain that neither of these is a local ILS frequency, but not 100% positive. So I'm just going to like roll that to a random something and hope that it's not. Since we've got a localizer fail, I'm pretty sure it's not, and we've got VOR fail over here. To change the decision height, it's this little knob right here, and it takes a second to roll it up there. So we're going to roll it all the way up to 100 feet. Any stinking day. We haven't even set our altimeter yet. There we go. Set the decision height to 100 feet and push the IFAS test button. Hold it until the end of the test. The test will end correctly when the PFD and nav displays return to their original state. So you're going to see that these displays are going to change when I press this little button right here. This is the IFAS test button. And you're supposed to press it and hold it, and just like anything else, I can click on it, drag away, and let go of the mouse button, and it holds the button down. And I'll read comments while it goes through that. Yeah, this would probably be a really good shared cockpit aircraft, Serial Black. What yoke and throttle do I use? Right now I'm using my, CH Products yoke, but I also have a really nice SciTech yoke that was donated to me by Shaker MT. He'll probably hop on here at some point, I hope. And then I typically use the TQ6 throttle. So, there you go. And that's the end of our test, by the way. So let's move on. Okay, auto land availability test. For some reason I never get this one to work. What's supposed to happen, same thing, you set to a non-local ILS frequency on nav 1 and 2, and then you push the auto land button on the flight guidance control panel, and it says the test ends when no auto land lights in the FMAs turn off. Okay, but when I click on the auto land, nothing happens. No lights come on. And pretty sure these are not local ILS frequencies, because otherwise the previous test wouldn't work. So, excuse me. Not sure why that one's not working, but there you have it. Alright. Now we got to test the primary and alternate stabilizer trim, which is actually not that hard. So, I have a button mapped to the primary trim, which is this guy right here, and when I move it up or down, what we want to do is we want to make sure that this guy, the indicator, moves, and there's also an audible warning after you hold it for a couple seconds. Okay, which is really obnoxious, because when the aircraft's trimming itself, when the autopilot's trimming the aircraft, it makes that audible warning. And then the alternate is this guy right here, and same thing. Now this one, I can't get the audible warning to come up because it only holds for just a second. But we'll still see the indicator move. So drag it up. Come on. There's the indicator moving up. There's the indicator moving down. And even if I hold it down, it still clicks back on its own. So for whatever reason, it just won't stay in that position. So we're good on that. Flight recorder test. We're not going to go through this whole process, but it's really pretty straightforward as far as what we need to do here. So the flight recorder doesn't actually work in this thing, at least not to my knowledge. So what we're going to do is we're going to open this guy. You got to roll the mouse wheel to do it. Roll it to ground test, and then you got to change your data on the flight recorder here. So you're supposed to put well, first of all, we got to check the annunciator. Sorry, down here, and it's supposed to say flight recorder off, which it does not. Oh yeah, it does right here, right? Is that the flight recorder off? You can't read any of those. Even when you zoom in, you can't read any of those. Let's see if that one goes. Let's put it back to norm. Nope, it's not that one. Flight recorder off when it's in the off position. So, oh, you're supposed to make sure it disappears. Maybe I should read the whole thing. So, flight recorder off is already there. And then when we flip it to ground test, that goes away. So that's correct. And then you're supposed to insert the day, month, flight number, and leg, and press the insert button. And that's all of this right here. And I'm not changing any of it because I just don't care. So I'm going to press insert, and then we move it back to the normal position, close the guard, and the flight recorder off. Annunciator should be back on, which it is, so we're good on that. And then later on, you would actually enter your takeoff weight and stuff like that, which I didn't do that last time, and I probably won't do it this time either. We need to check the cargo smoke detection and fire suppression system. And all you do is, this is the little test button right here. Press and hold it. Again, move the mouse away. There it goes. And it's supposed to be these lights, and that obnoxious sound lets you know you're good to go. Click it, and we're done. Anything on the comments we need to address here? So, Benny, I've tried to do shared cockpits so many times, and I never ever can get it to work. It's ridiculous. So as far as the SciTech stuff, it's fantastic. You know what? I really like SciTech. They make a good product as far as I'm concerned. I use the X55 also for the stuff that I do with Dougie Doug there for the combat flight sim stuff, and I also use the X55 when I'm flying Airbus. That being said, I'm hoping to get some money eventually to switch to the Warthog. I don't remember who makes it, but it's an actual replica of the A10 setup, and that's what most of the guys that fly with that VFA use, and they love it. So just got to use Hamachi. Yeah, I've tried it with Hamachi too and still had a problem with it, Benny. For whatever reason, I couldn't get it to work. So let's go ahead and move on here. You guys go ahead and keep the questions and comments rolling, and I'll check them whenever I can. Next thing we need to do is check that all the instrument transfer selectors are in the normal position. That's all of these guys here. So these all need to be in normal, and they are, so we're good on that. Do the wind shear test, which is this guy right over here. You click it and let it do its thing. Actually, click and drag.
Headwind, shear, headwind, shear, headwind, shear. Tailwind, shear, tailwind, shear, tailwind, shear.
Now, I'd be curious to know, obviously the test is simulated, but I'd be really curious to know if the aircraft actually detects wind shear, because you remember we did that flight into Innsbruck in the 757 and we had some wicked wind shear. I had to do the go around, come back, and then on the second approach I had to practically do a nosedive at the ground because of that wind shear. We managed to land it on the second time, but I'd be curious, and I don't know if we'll hit any wind shear on this flight or not, but if we do, I wonder if we'll get a notification from that system. That'd be really cool if that actually works, especially with the Active Sky 2016 clearly doing a great job of modeling the wind shear. So you need to sell your Thrustmaster Cougar and purchase a yoke. Thrustmaster Cougar, I don't know what that one is. Are you the one in the group, Doug, that's selling the come on, what are they called now? You know what I'm talking about. It just popped up on the chat last night. Somebody's selling the you know what? My brain's not gonna work right now. It's just not gonna work. But anyway, you know what? I might be interested in that. I want to say, you know what? Just send me a chat on the thing, a private chat on our WhatsApp thing, and a link to what it is, and I'll take a look. Maybe when I get a little money after getting P3D and VRS and TACPAC all over again, maybe I'll be able to pick that up from you. We'll see. Okay, enough chatty chat, right? Let's see here. We got to do the emergency electrical power test. So we got to move the emergency power to the on position and check that the light comes on. So this is the light right here. It's pretty subtle, but if you watch it closely, you'll see when I flip on emergency power, the light does come on. Now, with that being said, we need to change the meter selector to the battery amp position. This guy right here. Okay. And let's see, it says the current should be between 10 and 50 amps to the right, and that means the battery's discharging. Alright, so it is between 10 and 50 to the right, and it's discharging. Now when we turn the emergency power back off, what should happen, and this is the indicator we're looking at right here, is this should flip back over to the left and then gradually come back to zero. And what that means, when it flips back over, now the battery's charging, and when it gets to zero, that means the battery's charged. So let's flip this off. And you see it flips way over here, and then it starts moving back to zero, and there we go. Now the battery's got a full charge again, so we're good to go on that. Okay, next page. Fuel system test. We're not going to do this. I'm going to show you what you do, but we're not going to do it because it frickin' takes forever. But what we do for the fuel test is you got to move the fuel crossfeed lever to the off position, or make sure it's in the off position, which is this guy right here, and all the way up is off and all the way down is on. You want to make sure that's in the off position. Okay, then you're going to switch off all the fuel boost pumps and the start pump, and verify that the left-right inlet fuel pressure low indicator comes on, as well as the master caution lights come on. Okay, we're not doing this, I'm just walking you through it here. And then you're going to switch on and off every single fuel switch and verify that the correct enunciation comes up on, oh, got to change views to see it, that the correct enunciation comes up on here, and that the master caution light goes on and off. So what that means is you would start by flipping off the start pump over here. Okay, you check your indicators, and then you're going to flip every one of these on and off one at a time and verify that everything does what it's supposed to do. That's how you do that. We're not going to do it, so moving on. Drag those down. Those come on next. Test the pitot and static heaters excuse me, to check the current absorption. Really, basically all we're doing is this knob right here. It's in the off position. As soon as I rotate it, that's how much power it's using. And basically I just go through all of them, make sure they're using power. And the only ones that shouldn't be using power is when I get all the way around to the rat probe, goes to 0. And if I come all the way back around to off, it goes back to 0. Okay? But I'm going to leave it on captain number 2 there, I believe, because sooner or later we're going to have to go to that anyway. Okay? Check the engine anti-ice switches, and airfoil switches are off. And then move the windshield anti-ice to the on position. So all of these are off, and then anti-ice goes to on, and we're good on that. And engine sync needs to be in the off position. So let me find engine sync as I put that up there. It's a knob. One of these knobs is engine sync. One of you is probably already looking at it going, it's right there in front of you. Where's the engine sync knob? There it is, all the way up there. Engine sync is in the off position, so we're good on that. Alright, who's confused so far? Let's see. How do you find the different planes in Steam? So you're using the Steam edition, Doug? What do you mean by how do you find the different planes? Are you asking where do you get aircraft, like add-on aircraft for it? I know there's a little delay, so I'm sitting here quietly. Okay, so any add-on aircraft site that sells FSX aircraft, so flightsim.com, PC Aviator, and several others, Aerosoft, most, if not all, but most of the aircraft that were designed for FSX have, you know, the guys that made them made the changes necessary to make them compatible with FSX Steam. So what you do is you pull up the information on the website. So like PC Aviator is a great site to go to, or Aerosoft, which I think somebody already spelt it up there, did they? Yeah, so Aerosoft, if you look up here just above where you answered, yeah, Shivam put that he's got the Aerosoft A321 and so on. So if you go to Aerosoft's website, they've got trains and airplanes, so make sure you click on the aviation side. And then most of their aircraft are compatible with FSX Steam as well. So those are the areas where you go. Now that being said, are you going to be flying the VFA stuff with us? Because that's P3D. I don't know if you have P3D or not, but that's a completely different world, because some of the stuff that's compatible with FSX is not compatible with P3D, even though technically it's the same code. Alright, I'll move on while you guys figure that out. Okay, check the ground proximity warning sensor switch in the overhead panel is guarded and in the normal position. I had a hard time finding this one earlier, but this time not so much. It's right there, and it is in the normal position, so we're good there. So now we're going to move to the stall test. We're going to test 1 and then 2 and verify that it makes a sound. Now here's the catch with this. If I roll the mouse wheel, it's going to stick in the down position. Okay, and then when I roll it up, it goes automatically to test number 2. And the only way to get it in the other position is to drag it. So the best way to do this is to drag it and hold it. There's system test 1. And then when I let go, it goes to the off position automatically, and then do the same thing for system test 2. And that's what I do for all of these. We got to do the yaw damper, move that to the on position down here. That's in the middle. Override is all the way down. And then the max speed warning test is similar to the stall test, so 1 is down.
Overspeed. Overspeed.
And that's 2, and we're good to go there. And we'll turn on the logo lights while we're over here. And then the Mach trim comp to the normal position and check that the in-op annunciation is off. So if we look down here, I think it's already in the normal position. Yeah, so if I put the Mach trim, it says inoperable. If I move it, I don't know why, but it was in the normal position already. But when I move it there, the annunciator goes away and we're good to go. Let's see, the ice FOD test. Ice FOD is right here. We test it, and you can see all the annunciators came on and then went back off. Now this one, when I let go, it goes back automatically. So you got to hold it down and check that all the annunciators pop up on here. There we go. Good. Test complete. All right, moving on then. Let's see. Transfer, lockout, and or standby is on, which is this guy right here. So both of those lights are supposed to be on. And if they're not, then there's something you need to do, but they're both on, so we're not going to worry about it. Okay, and then we need to put the landing altitude in under the pressurization here. Now this is going to be a pain in the butt because, let me pull it up here for you. And I'll move this over here. And our landing altitude is 6,451 feet. So we have to put that in here. Now this is in hundreds of feet. Let me see if you can actually read it if I zoom in. Wrong way. So it's 100 feet at a time. So that's 400 feet. We got to go up to 6,400, and by scrolling up on the mouse wheel, it's going down. So you have to scroll down on the mouse wheel, and there's no quick way to do it. You're literally just going to scroll it the whole way. So while I'm scrolling, let's see what we got going over here. You still need to purchase their P3D stuff. Yeah, so if you've got FSX Steam, give us an idea, Doug. What are you looking for as far as aircraft? Anything in particular that you'd like to be able to fly in there? We got to go up to 64, we said, right? Pop that back up over there so I can see. Yeah, 6450. Oh, Jesus, it's gonna take forever. Any day. 6450. Close enough. Good enough for government work, I always say. Zoom that back out. Okay. And then we need to do the barometric pressure at at the destination, and for that we need active sky. Obviously, we haven't set our flight plan in here yet. Now, some of you might be thinking, "Why you didn't do the flight plan in PFPX?" Well, I did. I just didn't actually go through it on the live stream here today. Let me pop this over here for you. So PFPX, there's the flight plan is already in there, but I think the fuel is wrong on it, so I added a little extra fuel, just so you know. But I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off, and I just didn't do the PFPX on screen today. Hopefully nobody's losing any sleep over that. But there's the actual flight plan there, and this has the fuel at 16,551. Now, there's an aircraft manager for this. I suppose I should have started with that, and I completely forgot to. So let me pull that up for you. Moving down. Where you at? Fly the MadDog. So the manager and setup, and I'm just going to cancel this out. Remember, this is not about an in-depth tutorial on this thing right now. This is just about flying it and learning it a little bit. But this is where you set everything up, and you do this before you start up your simulator. Okay, you do your fuel, and you can now I saved the flight plan. There it is right there, and so you can just load it in like that, and then it's supposed to give you fuel information. But again, I think the fuel's a little off on it, to be honest with you. So you can set up failures if you want, and then you pick. Now when you do this setup, you got to choose which aircraft you're flying here, okay, from the whole list. And we're flying the Delta today, so we're good on that. You can change your panel mode and all of that good stuff, and there's a lot of stuff you can do with this. You can set up a default situation. You can set it up to play music in the background while the passengers load, and the whole shebang, and it's really a good time. Okay, with that, to get the proper, come on, brain function. To get the proper nav data in there, you have to use Navigraph. Now this is weird. You have to use Navigraph. Let me cancel this, and I will show this to you real quick. I know we're sidebarring a little bit, but you must use Navigraph to get updated nav data for this thing. But when you do it, let me go to my proper folder here. When you do it, it's actually the PMDG data that you use, right? So what you got to do is you got to go in here. Even if you don't have PMDG aircraft, but you do use Navigraph, you can update this thing by just adding PMDG to your Navigraph. You go in here, go to your nav data, you copy all of these files here, and then you go back to this one, FMCWP, paste them in here. That's step one. Okay. Then you go back to PMDG again, and you copy this folder. Okay, on the last one we copied the files, not the folder. On this one you copy this folder, and then you go into this folder here and you paste it in here. And then you restart that manager that I just showed you, and that's how you update the nav data in here. I know it's weird, but that's how you do it. Okay, let's move on now. Flight plan into Active Sky 2016. We've already created the flight plan. We'll grab that guy, open her up, and there's our flight plan there. And now what we obviously want to do is we want to get our conditions at KJAC, because we're going to need this guy, the pressure, 3008. And we'll hop back up here, and we'll put 300, whoops, wrong friggin' knob there. 3008 is going to be right about there, and now we're going to go on that. Any questions so far? Let's see here. iFly 747. Oh, the iFly is beautiful. You'll love that thing. Doug, if you want to fly a 747, that is definitely the way to go. Let's see here. Aerosoft stuff. The Aerosoft Airbus is really good. If you've got a little extra money, Doug, I hear that the Flight Sim Labs Airbus A321 is even better. I don't know. I don't have it yet, but just something to think about. But that one's more expensive. It's $100. So something to keep in mind. And yes, you definitely need to get on my YouTube and check it out because it's awesome. Yeah, jets are a lot of fun. This MD-80 is fun. I do like the old style. Now, the other one that I'm going to give you, try to remember to give you the link to, is it's all pneumatic. It's steam gauges and stuff. It's not. It doesn't have the nav display in PFD like this one does, and you can only fly VOR to VOR on that one, which is really cool. So I might pick that up eventually just for the old school flying, but. For now, we got what we got. So, okay, let's move on here because we're going to fall behind and this is going to take forever. Where are we at? Transfer, lockout, standby. We're good there. We did the barometric pressure. We're good there. Now we check that the air conditioning valves work correctly in the manual mode. We move the cabin temp select to manual hot. So this is kind of a weird one. So as soon as you move this, we're going to do this one and this one. As soon as you move this, it's going to stay down there. The only way to get it back to auto is to use the mouse wheel. But what I'm going to do is drag it to hot, and this needle, you got to hold it. That needle goes to the hot side, right? And then I want it to go to the cold side, drag it over to cold, and it should swing all the way back over to the other side. There we go. Okay. And then when I let go, I can't drag it up to the auto, so you just roll the mouse wheel up one, and it goes to auto. And then we do the same thing over here. Drag it and hold it on hot. Needle moves over to the hot side, drag it and hold it to cold. We want the needle to swing all the way back over. It does. And then roll the mouse wheel up one to put it on auto. And it should hopefully recenter. Maybe. Do it ourselves. Back to auto, and then we're good to go. Okay, so that's done. Check the radio rack switch is in the fan 3 position. That's this guy right here. So that's Venturi, that's fan, that's where we want it. So we're good on that. Check that the air conditioning shutoff switch is in the auto position. Air conditioning shutoff is, where is it at? It's over here on the side somewhere. Here it is, down here. So down is auto, up is override, and then the RAM air switch down here is in the off position, which is up. So that's where we want it to be. That's kind of weird the way they set that up, actually. I guess you could pinch them together, right? Okay. Hop down here. We're going to start setting up a couple things for the guidance panel. We need to set up the speed come on. We need to set up the speed and the Mach. So we're going to scroll this up to 250. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Supposedly you can click somewhere and it does it automatically for you, but I don't remember where, and Easy's not on here to tell me, so I have to do it myself. Mr. Matterboy, I beg to differ. The PMDG 737 and 777 are fantastic, but the iFly 747 is much better than the PMDG 747. Now that being said, PMDG is planning to release a new version of the 747 supposedly this year, but I don't think that's going to happen. And it will probably rival the iFly. But if you want one right now, I highly recommend the iFly. It's better. PMDG is good. iFly is better. Eventually, when I get some time, I'll do the comparison video on the two. Okay, we scroll that to 250 and then click on the center of the knob, and now we need to scroll the Mach to 0.750. I have no idea why. That's just what it says to do. There we go, 750, and then we'll click it again, leave it at 250, and we're going to go on that. And then move the bank selector to 15, which is right there. I just used the mouse wheel to do that. And we're not doing the altitude alert test because even if you do it really quickly, it still takes like 10 minutes. So, test the TRC by pushing the test 1 button down here, and verify that the RAT indicator displays 12 degrees, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to push this test button, and then we're going to move off of it so that it does its thing. That should say 12 degrees there. And the EPR should say 2.04, the limit, which it does right there. So we're good on that. Click the button to turn it off. Goes back to normal. And then we can test the fuel quantity indicator. Push the 0 fuel weight knob. And pay attention on clicking it on the center position when the cursor hand does not have a plus or minus sign, and read the 0 fuel weight. Okay, let's see if we can do this. So I don't see a plus or minus sign anyway, and it says to click the 0 fuel weight knob and read the 0 fuel weight. Okay. $108,200. Okay, I should probably write that down. I'm certain I need to write that down. 108,200. So 108,200. Damn, that's heavy. Okay. And then push the test button and verify that the left, right, and center tank quantity display. It says that they show 1,500 kilograms on here, and that the total shows 4,500, but that's because they wanted you to set up a certain amount of fuel on here. Well, 1,500. 1,545. So I guess that's just the way the test is conducted. So there you go. We're good on that. Moving right along. I don't think you can buy the PMDG 747 anymore either, Kaveen. Alrighty. Test the landing gear lights and RL, or sound, by clicking on the gear lever. Okay. There it is.
Landing gear.
That's kind of interesting. Okay. Now we check the hydraulic system. The fluid quantity must be above 12 quarts, which is this indicator right here, and it is. So we're good on that. Move the auxiliary hydraulic pump to the temporary override position. Down. Okay. Then verify that the pressure rises in the right system. Right? Oh, you gotta hold it down. Okay. And it did. It rose in the... It's talking about this one right here. Make sure that one goes up, which it did. And then move it to the on position and verify that the hydraulic pressure will stabilize to a value between 2,800 and 3,200. So move it to the on position. Stabilize between 28 and 32, and we're good there. Moving on. Move transfer pump 5 switch to on, or transfer pump switch to on, which is this guy right here. Move it to on, and verify that the pressure on the left system stabilizes between at a value above 2,000 psi, which it did. It's at 26, so we're good on that. Move the rudder hydraulic control lever. Dear God, where is that thing? That's down here somewhere. I think. Holy crap. Should be this one, right? Nope. This is one of the problems I run into. It's this guy here. There we go. So we need to move this lever here to the manual position and verify that the rudder control manual enunciation is displayed. So we need to move this guy all the way to manual and then verify that it displays on here. Rudder control manual. It does. Okay. Woo! Move it back to the hydraulic position and verify that the enunciator goes off. I don't know if we can actually reach it from there. Enunciator went off, and we're going to go on that. Verify that the engine-driven pump switches are both in the high position. Come back down here. Are we on another page here? No. Both in the high position, and move the transfer pump. Okay, those are both in high. Move the transfer pump back and the auxiliary pump back. Okay, we're done. Wow, that was actually a real pain in the can. Let's see. YouTube channel. Yeah, if you just go below the display area there of the video or the live stream, you'll see a link to my YouTube channel. I need a bot and a moderator. Somebody else mentioned that before. Why? Is there like a bunch of stuff popping up that I'm not seeing or something? I'm still learning Twitch. Moving on. Test the brake temperature indicator by pushing the test button. I gotta find it first. Where is that? Should be right over here somewhere. Where are you at? Should be right in front of us here, based on the picture I'm looking at. That's weird. Maybe it's on this side. That's right. Okay, here we go. We're looking at this guy right here. So we're going to press the test button and verify that the indicated temperature is between 425 and 475 and that the overheat light is on. So press this guy, overheat is on, temperature came up where it should have, so we're good on that. Click it again and off it goes, and we're good. Check that the alternate static air selector on CM2 lateral panel is in the normal position. CM2 lateral panel. That's got to be this guy back over here, right? This guy. Make sure it's in the normal position, which it is. I don't know why that's a lateral panel. Well, I guess that makes sense. Next we test the weather radar. First we need to increase the weather radar brightness on the nav display by rotating clockwise the inner black knob. So rotate this guy clockwise. We'll just crank it all the way up. Okay. And on the IFAS control panel, move the nav display mode knob to the arc position. This guy right here, it's in map, now it's in arc, so we're good on that. And switch on the radar by pushing the power button. Okay, power button is this guy right here. There we go, weather radar is on. And then press the test button, which is this guy. Takes a few seconds and then there it goes, testing the weather radar. Okay, looks like it's good. So now we can turn the test off, turn the power off, and we're good to go on that. Move it on. You're just a noob. Excellent. Okay, to test the takeoff warnings, we advance the throttles by hand. We must hear 4 different vocal warnings. Full app, whatever that means, slat, brake, and stabilizer. So let's listen for those.
Flat, flat, stabilizer, brake, flat.
Okay, so flap is actually supposed to be flaps, I think. So, good times. Check that the fuel shutoff levers are in the off position. That's these guys down here. That's these two, and they're both in the off position, so we're good on those. And that the fuel cross feed is off, which it is. That was the one up over here. It's already off, so we're good on that. We can test the TCAS by moving the selector in the center pedestal to the test position and checking that the VSI TCAS display is like we see in figure 5. So this is the TCAS over here, and if we go here to the, let's make sure we can see which one's the test position. Test. Okay, we could see the test.
TCAS system test. Okay.
Okay, we're good. Let's do it one more time so that we can look at this and make sure that we see what we're supposed to see. Goes like that.
TCAS system test. Okay.
And I guess that's it. We don't really see anything else. It's supposed to show like a couple aircraft or something on there, but it doesn't. So move it to the TARA and move it to tilt above, it looks like. Where's the tilt above switch? Should be right. It's right here. So TARA is all the way over, tilt above, there it is, and we're good to go on that. Okay, moving on. Jeez, there's a lot of stuff to do to get this thing ready, isn't there? Let's see. Nope. What are we on here? Shouldn't have changed to the next stage yet, have we? No. Okay, we're good on that. Alright, now it's time to deal with the FMC or FMS flight management system, which is this guy. Good times. I'm going to take a break here for a second. What do we got going on here? Discovered Flight Sim 10 months ago and you're hooked. Don't place a burrito out front while testing the radar. Why not? Alright. The good news here is, for the most part, it's pretty straightforward. It's the same old stuff that we're used to doing. So let's start with position initialization. We're going to grab this position right here. By clicking on it, puts it down in the scratch pad, and then click right here, and bam, there it is. We can put the reference airport in if we want, which is KSNA. And it's that one there. There we go. And you can see that those all measure up. That's the position we just put in, and you can see it's the same as the reference airport as well, so we're good. So we click over to route. I think we did a company route on this. Let's see. Let's see if it'll let me do a company route. I haven't tried this yet. KSNA to KJAC, and 01 of course is always our designator. Let's click that in there. Hey, it grabbed it for us. Fantastic. I don't know what's not in database though. Oh, because I clicked it without putting anything in there. So let's click activate. Execute that. Maybe. Kind of a tricky little spot. It's like right on the edge there. And then let's pull up our flight plan here. So we are going Anaheim 7, which by the way was not in the list on Navigraph charts. I couldn't find Anaheim 7, so we'll see if it's in the list in here, but we may not be able to brief it, so just something to keep in mind. But then it's to SLI and then to DAG. Come here. SLI, then DAG, and then it's supposed to be J100 to NORA, Poly, MLD, and then on to the arrival from there. So if we check on here, next page, yep, all the way up to Lundy, and then from Lundy to Jacksonville VOR, but we don't have anything in there right now because it's not in there. We haven't chosen our runway yet, that's alright. Let's go ahead and press on with performance initialization here. Excuse me. Okay. Zero fuel weight was 108,200. Good thing I wrote it down, huh? But we know how to get it now. We can just click on zero fuel weight and it'll give it to us. Fuel scheduled. So for the fuel, you load it through here. Fuel and payload. Go to change fuel. Put it in there. We're at 23,209. 23,209. See if that works right. Burn schedule required A or N. Ooh. Let's see here. Let's see what it says on here. I think we're supposed to select A. Clear that off. So, what did we say our fuel was again? Because I didn't write that down. Fuel and payload, change fuel, 23,209. And we'll go with schedule A, 23,209 slash A. Let's see if that works. Hey, there we go, manual, okay. I don't know what N is. Our reserves are going to be 2,000, so we'll just put 2 in there. And our cruise altitude is going to be 350. Goodness gracious. Execute all that. Go to the takeoff page. And pick our departure. Now, there's some trick to getting it to show your takeoff speeds in there. Oh no, there's not a trick to it. I'll show you here in a second. It's not actually a trick. It's just a certain place you got to go to. Let's pull up our weather here. We pulled up weather for Jacksonville, but we need to pull up weather for this guy. Okay, let me write this down. We're on a roll, aren't we? What are we doing over here? You guys are going nuts on the chat, aren't you? Shaker! Shaker's here! Everybody say hi to Shaker. Shaker's one of my favorite people. We're actually planning a series of flights, Shaker and I, that we're actually going to invite all of you to join us on. So I'll just say this real quick, and this is just a foreshadowing or whatever you want to call it, just a kind of a heads up of something exciting that's going to be coming along. Shaker's dad was a crew chief on a DC-3, which is a C-47 in the military. Correct me if I'm wrong, Shaker. And they did what's called flying the hump, where they flew from the United States over to Vietnam. And he managed to get a hold of somebody who actually sent, and Shaker's already sent it to me. I haven't had a chance to really go over it yet, but sent him a PDF copy of the entire route. And Shaker found an amazingly good, well-done freeware C-47/DC-3 that I need to load in. And when we get ready to do it, Shaker and I will coordinate, and I'll put, thanks for the follow there, by the way. I will put an announcement on Facebook with all the information, where to get the aircraft, what the flights are going to be, and so on. But what we're going to do is we're going to do it one leg at a time as a live stream using probably FS Cloud, so that we can all fly together. And we're going to fly the hump in a DC-3, and it's going to be fantastic. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's see here. Born and raised in Ottawa. Fantastic. My big? is on the alt setting where you set the barometer setting. What's the difference between 2996 and 1013? Okay, so the difference between 2996 and 1013 is metric versus standard, basically. So in the United States, we use, as you know, standard measurements. And so we use barometric pressure, which is inches of mercury. So 29.96 is inches of mercury, and 1013 is hectopascals. So they do the same thing, but they're just two different measurements for the same thing. Hope that makes sense. Importing measure. Yeah, you're kind of right, Serial Black. Pretty close. Oh, okay, Imperial. Yep, there you go. Oh yeah, Shaker did his dad's original paint scheme for that aircraft too, so that's gonna be fantastic. Okay, let's press on here. I meant to write this stuff down. So our wind is 0 degrees at 6 knots and 3006, which we already put in. But okay. So let's take a looky look here, shall we? Drag this over here and zoom it out a little so you can actually see it. Okay, so the wind is at 0 degrees. So technically we probably need to use runway 2 left over here because, well, not technically, we need to use runway 2 left. And we're up over here somewhere, so we're going to have to taxi down on Alpha to Delta here, and then we'll take runway 2 left for our departure. So move that back over there out of the way. We don't need that on. Let's hop back down here, and there we go. Anaheim 7, runway 2 left. So it is in there. Runway 2 left. Execute those. Back to route. I don't know why we need to execute again, but we'll do it. Performance initialization. We're not going to put cruise wind in there right now. Not too worried about that, but you can put it in there and it'll help with fuel prediction. Okay, so V speeds. I'm going to pull this thing up. It's kind of a pain. Come on. Ugh. What are you doing to me? What are you doing? Okay. This thing is not working right, is it? You got to pull up this little 2D thing here. And this little card right here, there's your speeds, and that's based on your current weight. So what I'm going to do, because we're going to need this for landing, is I'm going to undock it so I can drag it over to the side here. Okay, take us back to our normal view and hop down here. And so we take this card here, and here's our V speeds. We have a dry runway, so 130 is our V1. Rotate is at 136. And V2 is at 143. And there we go, there's our V speeds. And now our pre-flight is complete, by the way. So I'll put that over there so that I have access to it later. And what else we need to do? Is that you buzzing in here, Doug? Or is it the other guys? It's not you. I shouldn't mess with my phone while I'm doing this anyway. Okay, let's hop over to our legs page real quick, make sure there's no discontinuities. So far everything looks like it should. And then we don't have the arrival in there yet. So the arrival, let's pull that up. I don't even know if it put it, I don't even think there is an arrival there. Lundy is a waypoint. There is no actual arrival there, it looks like. So we're going to fly to Lundy, and then from there, basically direct to Jacksonville. That's fine. And then we'll figure out our approach once we get in the air, because we're actually going to have a little bit of time to do that. Okay. So now our FMS/FMC/CDU, whatever you want to call it, is all set up. Make sure I'm not missing anything here. Okay. So I think once we're ready for pushback here, we get a load sheet is supposed to pop up. We do need to set our V speeds on the little bugs over here, so let's hop over 130, 136. I guess I got the little card sitting right over here. I guess I didn't need to really pop that up, did I? So we got to set those on here, and you just drag them to do it, which is kind of weird. So let me just drag those out of the way, and let's start with the first one. So 130 is our V1. It's a little sensitive. There's 130, and then 136 is rotate. Gonna be right around in there. And then 143 is V2. And then maybe I just don't know what I'm doing, but this should be flap retraction speed, I think, which is, yeah, 158. So put that right there, and that's when the flaps start coming up. And so we're going to go on that. Now, I don't remember what we did to get the load sheet to pop up last time. It just popped up automatically. I think it's as soon as we get ready to push back, which we're about ready to do here. I'm just double checking, making sure I haven't missed anything. We've set the V speeds, so we're good on that. Clicking on the upper red spot. Oh, apparently you can click out there. Supposedly you should be able to click right here and automatically set them. Or you can roll them. That's kind of, it's saying that, I don't know if there's some trick to getting that to pop up or what, but maybe these little dots, I'll show you what I'm looking at here. This thing's in the way, so I can't see the camera. So you see the dots there? So supposedly if you click on that top red dot, it automatically sets them, or you can roll the mouse wheel on the green dots to set them. But I don't think that pops up unless the load sheet pops up, which probably won't pop up until we're ready to push back. I don't know. So we need to go nose right, tail left. Oh, goodness gracious. And then we're going to roll into the engine start and taxi checklist. So right as I'm getting ready to do that, does anybody have any questions while I get GSX set up here? Sure. Nose right, tail left. No. And there's our awesome push cart.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Yeah, Captain Metcalf. Yeah, Doug, National's awesome, buddy. It really is. So, if you get an opportunity, absolutely hop on over there, get signed up with them. They're a great group over there. The guy that's the president, he's a disabled veteran, fantastic individual. He's a good friend of mine too. His name is David. Fantastic. And they run a really cool ship over there. And another good friend of mine, Easy, who's not on here right now. He just took a staff position over there too. So yeah, good times. Yeah.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start that wheel.
Okay, so I'm still not seeing the load sheet. I don't know why, which is kind of weird. But anyway, let's go ahead and start looking at the startup procedure. So APU air switch is supposed to be in the on position, and switch 2 is in the normal position. So this is in the normal position, and the APU air switch is in the on position, which is, where's the APU air switch? You see what I'm talking about? This is weird. So APU air is over by the air conditioning. No, it should be right here. Normal APU air. It's right in front of my face. Put that in the on position. Okay, I guess that's the on position. It's supposed to be in the middle. That looks like it's off. Yep, that was the on position. Okay, on position. That's where we want it there. Parking brake will be set once we stop. This needs to be in the off position.
Set parking brakes.
I'll just use control period for that. off supply 3 switches, that's those there, and on all the left and right fuel boost pump and anti-collision lights. Okay, so to do the startup, we need to make sure the APU air is in the on position, which is the middle. We need to make sure that this is in the normal position. We need to make sure that both the supply switches are in the off position all the way up. And then all of the pump switches need to be turned on. Come on. There we go. On. Now, make sure the anti-collision lights are on, which is these guys over here. They are on now. Check that the pneumatic pressure is enough for engine startup. We should have at least 36 psi.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Here's pneumatic pressure. It's very hard to see how much, but I believe we have enough. So we're going to find out. So open both pneumatic cross feeds to allow the APU pressurization air to reach the engine. So that's actually these two guys down here. This is where I got confused last time I did it. That one's already open. Now that one's open. Okay. And then move the engine ignition knob to the both position. Where's that located at? Engine ignition knob to the both position. I bet that's on the next page. Yep. Okay, so jump back up here. This is the engine ignition knob. Goes to the both position. It's a lot of work. Check the thrust levers are in idle. Read the before start checklist. And then we start engine number 2 first by holding the guarded switch in the on position. Okay. And then the annunciator is going to tell us that the right start valve is open. And N2 should start to increase together with the hydraulic and oil pressure. When N2 stops increasing for 5 seconds, which should be at about 25%, we move the shutoff lever to the on position. Alright, everybody tracking on that? So we're going to start this one first, and we're going to roll the mouse wheel. Maybe. You gotta click it to get the guard off first. Or you gotta roll the mouse wheel to get the guard off. Then roll it down. Now it stays in that position because I rolled the mouse wheel. If you try to click it, you gotta actually hold it. Okay, and then we see here that everything's starting to spin up like it should. Once it stabilizes, once the N2 stops increasing, which is at about 25%, okay, this is N2 here, you can see it's at 23 there, okay, once it stops and stabilizes, then we're going to add fuel. And there we go, it's at about 25%, so all we're going to do is drag that guy up, and there she goes, the engine's firing up. And something's making noise. Custom paints are a pain in the butt, Serial. Okay. And then we do the same exact thing for engine number 1. First, we'll close this cover. The start selector can go off. Open that cover, roll that down. And there we go. Same thing. We're waiting for this to get to right about 25%. And then we'll be good to go. Whew. Goodness gracious. PMDG has some decent paint kits. They're not too bad. Okay, we're stabilized pretty much there. We can go ahead and add fuel. Bam. And there she goes, firing up. Alright. Okay, turn that guy off, close the cover. That was a weird noise. Alright, once both engines are running, we have to check with the meter selector that the engine generators are working correctly. Okay, so this is the meter selector here, right? I think. Looks like it. Okay. and they should deliver 115 plus or minus 3 volts at 400 hertz. Okay, so right engine, left engine, we're good to go. External power, APU is still pushing out, so we're going to be shutting that off here pretty soon. Just double checking these things. Move the galley power switch to on. I hate how they've got the little graphic on a different page. Or maybe they don't. Maybe I'm just an idiot. Where's it at? Move the galley power switch to on. Okay, that's this one here. So there's the galley power switch. Engine ignition switch to off, and the pitot heater to captain 2 position. And I already did that earlier. Captain 2 position, so we're good there. Move the air conditioning supply switches to auto. Air conditioning supply switches to auto. No, auto. There we go. And APU air switch to off, and the master APU switch off. So, where's the APU air switch? This one here. Off. The master APU switch to off. That's run. Off. And then we should be able to turn the buses off, right? Yeah, let's turn the buses off. We don't need those anymore. Okay. The APU will turn off after a cooling period of about 1 minute. Verify that we have 2800 to 3000 psi of hydraulic pressure from the engine hydraulic pumps, and then turn the auxiliary and transfer pumps, and then turn on the auxiliary and transfer pumps. Okay, goodness. Okay, so we got to make sure that we've got 2800 to 3000. We do. And then it says to turn on the auxiliary and transfer pumps. So transfer and auxiliary both go on. Close the pneumatic crossfeed. We'll open them again in case we need the airfoil and the ice. Which one was the pneumatic crossfeed? I don't remember. Close the pneumatic crossfeed. It's got to be up here, right? Those pneumatics are right here. Ugh, I don't remember where the pneumatic crossfeed is, and it's not showing me on here. That's not very nice of you at all. Not very nice at all. Okay, whatever. We're moving on. If we need the anti-ice, we'll need it on anyway, so we'll leave it as is. Let's see. Landing lights can get, let's see. This guy can go to dim. We don't need the landing lights on right now. We're fine. And extend the slats. Let's see. We extend the slats and verify that the auto slat test is executed. Okay. Auto slat light is right here. So it says to press F7 to do it. So let's do that. F7 didn't do anything. Let's try this. There we go. Okay, there's the slats. Afterwards, we set the flaps to 15. That should be 15 right there. Let's just verify by getting a look. There we go. Slats are, that's 11, right? That's 15. That's where I want. There we go. Slats to 15. There's an indicator right there. Or flaps to 15. There's our indicator right there. So we're good to go on that. And then follow the taxiways out. I love how it tells you on this thing to follow the yellow line for the taxiways. Okay. Whew. Let me grab my track IR hat here. Hold on a second. Boy, this one's been quite an adventure, hasn't it? What time is it anyway? Let me see here. It is 12:30, which means we've been at this for an hour and a half, people. An hour and a half. What do we got going on in the chat over here? Good there, good there. Galley power must have coffee. Absolutely. I don't know about donuts, Shaker. Okay. Levers on the console for the pneumatic crossfeed, I'm assuming. I'm going to leave them as is. I'm not too worried about it. Okay, so we ready to taxi out and get going here, guys? Brett, just so that you know, I don't know if you're still around, but I have seen your little whisper chat over here. I just haven't had a chance to read it and address it yet. So I hope that doesn't hurt your feelings. Now here's a question I do have. It never told us anywhere what to set our trim at. You ever notice that? Never told us where to set our trim. That's interesting. So there's got to be some type of indicator here. Yeah, like there's nothing on here. Interesting. Maybe this is what it's supposed to be. Takeoff indicator. So let's set it to 6 and we'll see if we get a warning. There's 6, so that's what we're going to go with. Alright, let's go ahead and taxi out here. Track IR on. Now this thing actually moves really easily, just so you know. Just give it a little bit of power there and she'll get going pretty quick. See that? Alright. Flight directors aren't on yet. Remember, we're following the tutorial vice the checklist per se, so yeah. It doesn't always have all the checklist items on it. So right now our autopilot is set for heading hold and altitude hold. And we haven't even set our altitude yet. It never had us set our altitude, did it? So let's start scrolling that up. Alright. And you can see we pick up speed pretty quick actually with almost no throttle. Alright, so we'll roll this guy down here and then we will take a look at our departure. Now we don't have to worry about the noise ordinance because of the direction we're departing. So I'm actually glad for that because, wow. Hey Evan, thanks for the follow, I appreciate it. I don't actually get the little audible warning when you guys follow, so I only catch it if I happen to look over and see it. But I do appreciate the follow, and if anybody else has clicked that follow button while I've been farting around over here, hey, I appreciate it. Thanks for jumping on board. It's nice to have the support. I really appreciate that. So as we're rolling along here, let's take a quick look. So as we said, that's the wrong one. We need this one. So as we said, we're going to take what should be alpha all the way down here to delta. Alright, so we should be on alpha right now, and we are. So black signs with yellow lettering, that means that's the one that you're actually on. Yellow signs with black lettering means that's what you're turning on to. So if that sign said alpha with an arrow pointed in that direction, we would need to turn there for alpha, but obviously that's not the case. So let's see, this thing does have a VNAV, so that's kind of cool. There's a few more things we're going to have to do. So Smurf, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. I actually did hear a little audible warning that time, which was interesting because I didn't hear it on the one before. Maybe it's because I was running my mouth. That'll happen sometimes. I should probably like pop this up over here so I can actually, yeah, hotel. Yeah, we got a little ways to go here. Did they yeah, the taxiway keeps going. I was like, does this taxiway continue? So you see the hotel sign there with the arrow. It's on a yellow background with black lettering. That means that was taxiway hotel. Pat, what is that? Was that Pikachu? Thanks for the follow. I sure appreciate it. We'll continue on down alpha here. And there's still a bunch of things we got to do before takeoff. It's ridiculous how long this actually took to get going. Now, obviously, if I was more familiar with the aircraft, and if you know, we weren't pointing things out as we went along, then obviously the whole startup procedure would have gone quicker. But yeah, it's just the way it is. So we expect that some of these live streams are going to go pretty long, and that's all right. I'm okay with that. I hope that you guys are too. I know some of you probably won't be able to hang for the whole thing, and that's quite all right. I understand. For those of you who are new to my channel, every live stream I do gets uploaded to my YouTube channel as well. So if you take an opportunity, just look down below the viewing area there for the live stream, and you'll see a link to my YouTube channel. Hop on over there, click the subscribe button. You'll get a notification when this gets uploaded as a video as well. So something to keep in mind. We don't need to do run up. That's kind of cool. They really modeled this airport well, didn't they? I love it. You know, I used to, when I first started, if you've watched any of my early videos, I said, you know, hey, I'm not a big add-on airport guy. You know, it takes a lot of memory, it costs a lot of money. If I'm not going to fly in and out of the airport, then what's the point, you know, if I'm not using it a lot? And that still holds relatively true for me. However, if I find a really good airport and a really good deal on it, like I got this airport and San Diego together for I think $10 on like some type of super sale. So what do we got there? That's Echo. Some type of super sale, and I snatched them up. Even though I don't get to fly into them a lot, it was $10, so I can live with that. And so I really do like these add-on airports when they're done up really well like this, especially if they're optimized. I'm getting a tiny bit of chop on this one, but it's not too bad. And when they're optimized for performance, man, it's fantastic. I think it's awesome. So good times. I really like it. This airport looks beautiful. They did a great job on it. Orbix does a really good job on airports. Flight Beam's airports are just fantastic. So yeah, good stuff. Alright, let's keep an eye on where we're going here. And we'll be bringing her to a stop here. And I love when they do the lights on there, even though the lights look a little funky when you're up close to them. It's nice to have those lights that are indicators. If there was an aircraft on approach, technically those lights should turn red. So, anyway. Okay, track IR off for a second here, and let's see what we got to do here. Taxiing's already done. I'm not worried about that. Let's see. Switch the weather radar on when we line up. We can switch that on right now. There's nobody in front of us, so we'll go ahead and turn the power on for the weather radar. And move the mouse cursor to the left until the cursor displays a negative. Oh, we need a positive. Come on. Why is that not? I'm on the wrong one, that's why. Okay, scroll down for positive. And how far up does it want us to go, does it say? It says about 3 degrees, give or take, so that's good there. So we just want it tilted up. Oh, that's 1.7. It tells us right there, actually. So it says go to 3 degrees. Nose up, so there we go. And obviously you don't want anybody in front of you while you got that weather radar on, so let's see, verify that there are no enunciations on the EOAP. That's this guy here. Okay, so the anti-skid needs to be turned on. Where is the anti-skid? It's up top. I saw it up here somewhere. Help me out, guys. Where's the anti-skid? Oh, I know I saw it. I looked right at it like 3 or 4 times. I bet it's not up here. That's probably why. It's probably down here. One of the things that would be nice is if this had like the cockpit tooltips, you know, where you hold the mouse over it and it tells you what it is. That might be an option. I haven't really looked into it that much, but anybody know where that is? Tells you bottom left of screen mag. Yep, says it right there. Next to the yaw damper, huh? Okay. Now I just have to find yaw damper again. I'm having a hard time with this plane right now, to be honest with you. Yaw damper's up here, right? Ground proximity, circuit breaker, thunderstorm. Anti-skid. Armed. There we go. Parking brakes are on, they should be. Okay, anti-skid. Thank you for that, Benny. I appreciate it. Took me a minute to find it anyway, but there it is. So the anti-skid's on, we're good there. Set the brakes, advance the throttle, all that good stuff. Let's see. EPR 1.4, 80% N2. Check that all engine parameters are normal. Switch the auto throttle on. Okay. It doesn't say it on here for some reason. Let me see. Number 6. Where's 6? Okay. So for the takeoff, and I don't know why it doesn't say it, but we need to click on the takeoff button right here. And that's going to give us our takeoff thrust. And then once we start climbing, we can click on the climb thrust button there. And I think that's it. Pretty much good to go. We're going to want nav. So we've armed the nav now. It's orange. Okay. And then we're going to do VNav. It's got a VNav button. Where's it at? There it is. It's not going to let me do VNav yet. I think it doesn't let you do it until you're airborne. So let's make sure both the flight directors are on. And our altitude is set to 35,000, speed is set to 250. The wife's bringing in some food right now because she's awesome like that. Say hi to the folks, honey.
Hello, everyone.
My wife's awesome. I couldn't be any luckier than I am to have her. And she's gorgeous, so you guys keep your jealousy to yourself. All right. Thank you, darling. I appreciate it. So once we get this thing airborne, we start climbing out. I'll probably take off the well, I'll set the headset right here so I can still talk to you guys, and we'll probably eat some food while I answer some questions or whatever. But let's go ahead and get this thing up on the runway here. A little bit of throttle coming in. It, like I said, it moves very easily. And we are pretty heavy, so I'm going to try and take advantage of as much runway as I can here. Hopefully the differential braking and all that stuff will work really well. Because the engines are up on the tail, the asymmetric thrust doesn't do a whole lot. I mean, it will work, but, you know, not real well. And for anybody who's unaware, anybody that's new to FSX or anything, asymmetric thrust is really weird on this anyway. So, like, it's really, really, really hard to taxi with one engine because the asymmetric thrust is just not done up properly. So, something to keep in mind. Swing her around here. This is where track IR is really handy for things like this. I'd probably cut it in a little tight, but that's alright. I just don't want to pull up too far. Alrighty. And I did remember to turn on my FS recorder so that I can do some cinematics and do a little bit of editing on this when I make it into a video. So, landing lights can come on now. There we go. Landing lights all the way on. Nose lights can go off. We don't really need those at this point. And I don't think there's anything else we need to do to get this thing rolling. Anybody got any last second questions before we get airborne here? Serial, this is a bit of a steep learning curve. But I think we're doing alright, all things considered. So, alright, here we go. Let's get in the air then. So, we run this up to about 80% N2, and then we switch on the auto throttles, which is this guy here. And I believe that just clicking or just switching them on is like hitting toga, if I remember correctly. We're going to find out though, aren't we? So we'll hold the brakes, run it up. Again, N2 right around 80%-ish, which it's already past it. Let's let that go, flip on the auto throttle. And did they go up more? Nope. Okay, we're going to do it manually for the moment.
Takeoff thrust set.
There's a trick to that, and I don't remember what it was, to be honest with you. Oh, she's going left. There we go. Try and keep it centered.
80 knots, cross check.
Check. Oh, didn't keep it centered very well, did I? Boy, we're almost out of runway.
V1, rotate.
Woo! Up, up, and away, boys. Come on.
Positive rate.
Gear coming up. Check the lever. Lever's coming up. Looking good. Now you got to get above 2,000 feet before you can do the VNAV, if I remember
Gear
correctly.
Up, lights out.
Landing lights will stay on. Okay, let's see if we can switch it to climb thrust here. See if it does it automatically. I don't think it will. I did something wrong where I'm not getting the thrust to do what it's supposed to automatically. The auto throttle's not working. I'm just climbing straight out for the moment. Let's hit the VNAV button. There it is. Autopilot on. And then let's hit the nav button. Where you at? Nav. Nav is on track right now.
Climb thrust set.
What we want it to be. We're way past our flap retraction speed. Woo! Okay, we're on slats right now.
Flap 0.
Flaps coming up.
Slats retracted.
Throttle's coming back. Oh, the throttles are doing their own thing now, I think. All right, not too bad, not too bad. I've had worse departures. I love the clouds in this active sky cloud art. I like it better than soft clouds, to be honest with you. I really do. So fantastic. I think it's awesome. Let's flip this over to map here and let's zoom out and let's make sure we're getting on course. We're swinging all the way around here, so we can catch SLI. So that's good. That's as we want it to be. Put it back in arc mode for now. That's fine. Okay. So we're on FMS and the engine performance rating, which is the climb rating. That's what we want. So we're good on that. So let's hop over here and let's see what it's got. If it's got anything for us. When the speed reaches 60 knots, the auto throttle will go in clamp mode. Oh, so I guess the auto throttle did kick in. I just didn't realize it. Good there. So far, everything's looking good. So we're just in climb mode until we get to cruise. We're looking good here. Awesome. Turn this off for just a second. Yeah, KJAC is Jackson Hole. And I have an add-on for that. What do you mean what happened, Shiv? You go away for a half hour and you see what? What I missed that everybody's worried about. Seems to be some chaos here all of a sudden. I've got the camera off because I'm eating or starting to eat. Still not tracking on what it is I missed that that has Shiv in such a stir. That's a darn good pretzel my wife bought me. A little jalapeno cheese dipping sauce. Oh yeah, good stuff. That's awesome, Evan. Maybe your dad will hop on here and tell me how to do it right. Alright, we're looking good, folks. Alright, so we got a ways to go before we get up to 35,000, obviously. So this is sort of that area where I usually say, hey, oh yeah, by the way, we're above 10,000. We can turn these off. So this is the area where we call it Chat with Captain Mac or whatever. Oh, he flies the 757 now, does he? That's fantastic. Who's he fly for? That's awesome, by the way. Love that airplane. We'll grab something to eat, cereal. That's the idea, right? This is chow time, man. That's awesome, Evan. That's fantastic. I have a really good friend. She just got her captain stripes with, I don't know if I should say which airline, to be honest with you, because she's probably going to join us on here one day to go over some CRJ stuff. Her and her husband are both captains for an airline, but I know she's trying to get to Delta, and it's actually her dream to fly 757s. So if your dad's got any suggestions or advice for her, I'm sure she'd really appreciate it. So what you're trying to say there, Shivam, is that you want us all to be jealous, right? I'd love to get in one of those real sims. That'd be awesome. And there's your FSX terrain. Love it. Not really. Looking pretty good though. 17,000. You know what I just realized, and nobody caught it until just now. Nobody said anything. I never put in the proper altimeter setting. What, Lord? I blame you guys. Oh yeah. No, I understand that he's gone right now, Evan. That he's out flying. That's awesome though. When your dad gets back, tell him I said I think that's awesome. I think it's fantastic. How old are you, Evan? I already got the landing lights, Benny. I got them. Where what? Where's he out flying? Well, it's great to have you join us, Evan. Did you have to pay to do that? To do that sim, Shivam? Evan, do you want to be a pilot when you grow up, or when you're an adult? Did I already ask that? I probably did. This MD-80 doesn't work in the Steam edition? That's a shame. Let me check something here. Let's take just a minute. That little pop-up you guys are seeing there, that's something having to do with Yahoo Mail, so keep that in mind. Okay. Benny, go to Flight 1 and look up their DC-9 and see if that's compatible with Steam. Man, that's a good pretzel. Doing the same flight we're doing, Evan? Or are you flying somewhere else? The Flight 1, Benny? You talking about the Flight 1 DC-9? Brett JetBlue, I don't know if you're still on here, brother, but I did finally get a chance to read your message off to the side there, and I'm sorry to hear that, man. I really am. If you do hear anything, let me know, though. If you hear anything on the feedback. Benny, to be honest, I don't really know regarding the DC-9 on Flight 1, but it's supposed to be pretty good, so... Oh, that Cool Sky was freeware. Alright, so Flight 1 DC-9 is the cool sky. Does that work with Steam? And while we're trucking along here, anybody got any questions for me? This is your Ask Captain Mac time. Evan, I do have my private pilot's license. What about you? You got any flight time? Greenie, I'm not crashing the plane, so don't ask. I'm done eating, so I turn the camera back on. Wait, stop. Hold the phone. Chica Meadow, you're a female? I think you're the only female on here. I guess I should have put Chick O Metal together. Yes, Serial, another one. Tell you what, Greenie, when I do FSX and stuff like that, I don't crash planes. However, eventually we're going to do some DCS stuff where we do fighters and stuff like that, and we'll shoot planes down. So, click the follow button, and then when we get an opportunity to do some DCS, you can see us shoot some planes and blow up tanks and stuff like that. Yeah, you're probably right. Everybody straightened. Everybody but me. I'm just like, I'm good. Yep. Everybody probably sat up a little straight. Oh, there's a woman in here. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Just kidding. I think that's funny. You know, it's actually interesting because when you think about it, there really aren't very many. Hey, I just got 2 followers, by the way. Cabby Lee and Greenie both just followed, so thank you both. And Greenie, if you hop on over to my YouTube channel and follow the link from there to Facebook, that's where I put up the options for what we're going to do in the live streams. So the options for this one was the flight you see now or some DCS World stuff, and everybody voted for this one. So you get a chance to put your vote in there and hopefully get to see some planes shot out of the sky. But what I was getting at is there aren't very many females, at least to my knowledge, that are really interested in flight sim at all. So it's cool to have you aboard. I had no idea that you were female. So there we go. I'm not going to be any nicer. I'm going to still be me, but Benny, I do not have my HOTUS beside the yoke. Are you saying next to or besides, in addition to? I do have the X55, which I use for when I do Airbus flights and when I do anything with DCS. So I do have it. Let me see if I can do something here. Let me see if I can show you guys how I got this set up. Hold on a sec. Obviously, I'm just chilling out here. Okay, let me see if I can move this camera without making a disaster out of things. So, trying to look at the thing here. So there's my yoke, obviously, and then if you look here, there we go. See that silver thing there? So I've got several of them. There's one there. There's a couple over there, right? And so what they do is they actually sit into little slots there in the desk. Okay? And then I've got my throttle quadrant down over there. And then what you can't see, and there's no point in putting the camera under there because you still won't be able to see it, is, hold on, let me try and get this in the right spot there again. So the way I have this set up is those little slots there, the yoke just drops right into the desk. And then when I want to switch to flying with the X55, I've actually got two, instead of having one big shelf like I have for the yoke here. When I do the X55, I actually have two separate things. So the stick sits on this side and it drops into the slots over here, and then throttle drops into this side and sits in the slots over here, and then I can actually slide up in between them, and then I've got a stick and a throttle so that I can use those here. So that's how I have that set up. Move that camera back where it belongs and see. There we go. So that's how I've got my setup going. So yeah, I do have the X55, and I use it when I fly anything that requires a stick. So why am I getting a master caution here? Center fuel pressure low. Oh, well, that makes sense because we didn't have that much fuel in the center, right? So the center tank is actually empty now. You see what I was saying about the fuel on this, right? So your work shirt. My wife just walked in with a NASA shirt on and said her work shirt came in. So, oh, sorry, it's classified. Sorry, guys, it's classified. We were talking about fuel. So I'm telling you, I don't know if we have enough fuel for this flight, to be honest with you. But let's hop up here real quick. And so this is the center, and then the forward pumps. No, this is aft. This is forward. So I'm guessing these are the center pumps. Let's hope we don't crash. I think we can turn those off and we should be good to go. Engines haven't died yet, so I think we're good. What do we got over here? Yes, I caught the master caution, thank you. I was too busy talking. She's a keeper. Tell him to hold on. So I guess the question has to be asked, Chica Metal there. Do you fly Flight Sim, or do you just like to watch the videos and the live streams on it? That's what everybody wants to know right now. Oh, itchy nose. Sorry, I'm spamming. You're not spamming. I just wasn't paying attention. We're almost cruise altitude too, by the way. I was too busy showing off my awesome setup. I actually built the desk myself, so it's 6.5 feet long and it's 4 feet deep. And I've got 2 large screens, and then I've got a really large custom built PC over here. So do I think are you asking me, Tom Nichil, if I could fly a real Airbus in an emergency type situation? Airbus, I don't know about Airbus. If it was a Boeing, yep, I would have no problem doing it in a 737, I think. But I am not as familiar or comfortable with the Airbus, to be honest with you. Why is this thing? Oh, we're going to 35,000, not 32,000. So yeah, I think if nobody else, if there was not an actual Airbus pilot on board, and flight attendant said, "Hey, both the pilots are dead. We need some help," I'd give it a go. I mean, that'd be the best chance we had, right? So, but probably not with an Airbus, no. You do fly the Flight Sim. That's fantastic. So you tell what's your setup? What kind of setup you got going on? In fact, let's do that for everybody, because I don't want to single out Chica Metal just because she's a female now, because that would just be silly. let's all roger up here. What do you guys use? Here's what you put on there. Put your yoke and throttle, and which sim you fly, whether it's FSX, FSX Steam, P3D, or X-Plane, or DCS if you fly it, and your basic computer specs. So what's your processor, and what's your graphics card? Let's do that for everybody. Roger up. So for mine, you already know what my basic controls are. I've got a i7 4790 processor in my computer with a GTX 980, and obviously I fly predominantly FSX, but have been flying more and more in the DCS world. That's where I know Doug from. So you heading out of there, Raleigh? Relief? You. Good night. Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate having you aboard, buddy. I have not flown on Pilot Edge, Benny. I've thought about it, but of course you got to pay money for it, and that's the downside. So Airbus flies itself, sort of. How different is the real thing versus the simulators? Okay, I cannot say a lot for Airbus because of my lack of familiarity, but let's go with something I'm certain of. And this is in answer to Tom Nishil's. I'm just going to call you Tom. This is an answer to Tom's question about how real are the simulators versus a real aircraft. So let's talk about the PMDG 737 NGX. I had the amazing opportunity once. I was doing a flight on a 737 from Arizona to another state. I won't say where because I wouldn't want anybody to get in any trouble, but I happened to take an opportunity to speak with the captain of the flight prior to boarding, and he allowed me to come on during pre-flight inspections, or not pre-flight inspections, but just pre-flight. He allowed me to come onto the flight deck while they were doing their pre-flights, and I told him about my doing flight sim and my nerdy obsession with such things and so on, and told him about the PMDG 737, and that based on that and its level of realism, that I felt that I was probably at least semi-competent with the aircraft. So we talked for a little bit, and I went through the startup procedure and setting up the FMC and all of those things with him, and it was spot on. It was absolutely spot on. So all the procedures were correct, all the order you do things in. The only thing that was off is somebody had told me that when you were starting the engines that you waited for the N2 to get to 15% or higher before adding fuel, and when I brought that up, he said no. He said it's got to be 25% or higher, or you're going to hot start the engines and destroy them. So that was the only thing that was off, and that wasn't that was just poor information. But he let me start up the APU, and I helped him set up the FMC and a bunch of other stuff, and it was all spot on. There are more things, like in the FMC, there's a lot more options in their FMC than what you see in a sim. But overall, the function of the aircraft, the switches, all of that stuff was spot on. So I would be, like I said, I would be comfortable if I were needed to fly a 737. And I'd love to get into a real Level D 737 simulator and see if I could fly it. So Kaved has a Cytec yoke. Hold on, it just moved. Cytec yoke and throttles. Flies FSX, Steam, X-Plane, and P3D. He's got the same processor as me with a GTX 970. Shavam's got a Cytec yoke and throttles. He's got the i7 2600. And, he's got a GTX 1060. That's a new one. Overclock, too. Nice. Let's see, what else we got here? Oh, every time somebody puts something in the chat, it moves. Stop it! Where are we at? Okay, there we go. Benny's got an i7 6700 with a GTX 1070. That's a brand new one. Nice. And a HOTUS X from Thrustmaster. Now that's the one that's modeled exactly after the A10, isn't it, Benny? Serial Black's got an i7 4790 and an X55 for FSX Steam. Shaker's got an Alienware laptop, which he flies from his semi-truck, by the way. Let's see. Thanks, Tom. Cessna rudder pedals. I'll bet those are pretty cool. Chicken Metal uses Cytec throttle and yoke, Alienware PC. Not sure on the specs. You don't know much about it. That's right. I don't know much about mine either. Z uses X-Plane, which is also, by the way, one of the reasons I recommend his channel, because he's doing X-Plane stuff. There's not a whole lot of guys doing X-Plane stuff. We're at Cruise. We're going to need to take care of that here in a minute. In fact, let me jump over and do that, and I'll jump back to this. So we're going to change the EPR rating to Cruise mode. And let's see. I don't need to do that yet. We'll check weather here in a little bit. We don't need landing data yet. And that's pretty much it. We just monitor things. You can see obviously the EPR rating's rolling back a little bit because I changed it over here. So other than that, we're good. I think my main concern here would be to check our progress page. So we're expected to have 10,000 pounds of fuel when we land based on the current weather and all of that stuff. So good to go on that. We got almost 200 miles to Poly, excuse me, and then MLD, I'm sorry, we're headed to Poly next, and then we got a couple hundred miles to MLD, and then 40 miles to Lundy. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that so that we can start prepping for descent and approach and all of that good stuff. So, but still gives us a little time to chat here. So anyway, yeah, one of the reasons I recommend Z-Well's channel, not only is he making great videos over there, but their X-Plane, which is completely different from FSX. I mean, they're just not the same. So definitely check him out. He's using the Cytec ProFlight yoke with their throttles. He's using CH pedals. Oh, he's on a Mac. Oh, I just lost. You know what? I just lost a little respect for you, Z. You're on a Mac. He's got an i7 with 16 gigs. Oh, and he's running Radeon graphics cards. NVIDIA is better, brother. Shavam jumped in. Oh, Mac user. Yeah, we got some hardcore guys in here, Chicken Metal. They're hardcore. I'm semi-hardcore, I guess. I don't know. If I added up how much money I've spent on all this, though, I probably could have bought a house. So, or I bought a house, but I probably could have bought another one. Let's see here. Yeah, those out of memories, man. I'll tell you what, I get them occasionally too, even with a really good system. So, but that's going to change in a few years, and I'll just leave it at that. Oh, that's the Warthog. Okay, you have the El Cheapo. Oh yeah, well that's how I go. El Cheapos, man. I looked around for that X55 for I don't know, maybe 6 months until I found one that was less than $200. Use a tablet as an FMC. That's pretty cool, setting that up like that. Now, just so you guys know, now I don't have the Cytec on here right now, the yoke, but Shaker actually donated that to me. So, Shaker's the man. That's my boy right there. Yeah, he's got a built-in table. He mounts his control. He's got a. You need to send me pictures of that Shaker. I want to see that setup, by the way. Who else is from Canada? Photo editing. Z says, I know, I gotta move over to PC. Yeah, Shaker and I were actually chatting on the phone the other day, and he's making some changes to his laptop. He's gonna have, what did it come to, Shaker? You're gonna end up having like 8 terabytes of hard drive space on that. It's ridiculous. Can I do a fire test? You want me to do a fire test in flight? Or you want me to actually like fire off the fire extinguishers? my computer's a custom built computer. It's $2,500 bucks. Yeah, I'm still a little confused there, Evan. Do you want me to fire off the fire extinguishers, or are you asking me to conduct the test? The test, okay. You know, I don't know if you were here from the start, Evan. I did do the test during the pre-flight flows. I don't have a problem doing it again, though. So there's actually a couple of them. So the first one you do is this one. Okay, and what you got to do is you left click to hold the button and hold it. Left click and hold, and then move the mouse away so the button stays down, and you do the same thing on this one.
Fire, left engine. Fire, right engine.
Okay, and then you just left click them to turn them off. That's one of the tests. And then there's another one up here for the cargo fire suppression, and you just left click and hold, move it away, and then click it again to turn it off. Those are the fire tests there. We'll be here, Serial. We'll be here. Alright, so let's do something else here. Let's, everybody's favorite airplane to fly in the sim. Not what you'd like to fly in the real world. Favorite airplane you like to fly in the flight simulator. Hey, no problem, Evan. No problem at all. Just remember when you're doing those fire tests on this one, the tutorial tells you to left click one button and right click the other. It doesn't work. So what you do is you left click and hold the one button, move the mouse away so the button stays down, and then left click and hold the other button, move the mouse away, and that's how you do it. So your favorite is the CRJ 700, Evan? The default version? A lot of NGX fans in here. I've never tried that 737-200. I love the Quality Wing 757. I just wish they'd have gone that extra step to where it was like PMDG quality. Level D 767 and the Aerosoft A321. I hear the Level D is pretty fantastic. See Wallace doing the 727 Q400. A2A Comanche. Is it the Just Flight version there, Evan? Shaker, you're supposed to pick one. I would be torn, to be honest with you. I have a lot of fun doing these videos and stuff. When I started doing these, you know, I had to dig into a level of the aircraft that I never did before. You know, prior to starting doing videos on YouTube and stuff, you know, most aircraft I would just kind of hop in and fly. I didn't really care, you know. But since I started doing videos and tutorials, you know, I really have to dig into them. I love the complexity of the 737 from PMDG, the 777 from PMDG, even though that thing is a vicious frame rate hog, so I rarely fly it. Really like the iFly 747. I would probably have to say that once I dug into it, because initially I didn't like it, but once I dug into it and got to really know it and did a cold and dark start tutorial, that happens to be my most popular video, my favorite airplane to fly up to date has probably been the Majestic Q400. That thing is, I mean, if you have the Pro version, they've modeled all the fuses, everything is modeled in it, and it's fantastic. Or it's not just modeled, it's simulated. So I really like that one. But I'm starting to lean towards actually the A10C model in DCS world, because it's got all the complexity of an airliner and you've got all the weapon systems you got to learn, and it's pretty wild. You don't have a flight sim, Smurf? Oh man, that's blasphemous. I don't even know how that happens. Pretty sure you are not required to get Active Sky Cloud Art with Active Sky 2016 Shebam. Actually, that was another donation from Shaker, by the way, guys. Active Sky 2016 and Cloud Art. Shaker donated that to me. This guy's awesome. Isn't he great? And he knows a lot of stuff, too. Good people. You get better frame rates on the 777? I get great frame rates on the NGX. See, that's FSX for you, isn't it? You can have a system identical to mine, and your computer will run it differently. It's weird. Have you checked out that Cold and Dark tutorial, Kavid, that I put up for the Q400? It's a really good one. It's very in-depth, so... Now you're trying to get donate. Don't be hitting Shaker up for donations now. Sorry, Shaker. Didn't mean to put you in that spot. Oh, thanks. I'm glad you liked it. That's one of my favorite videos I did. That took me a long time to make that video, let me tell you what. Let me see something here. Let's just start prepping here. Let's take a look at our weather in Jackson Hole here. See what we're going to be looking at. .200 knots at 25 knots, or 200 degrees at 25 knots. Holy cow. That's some wind. 3005. Let's see what it's going to be in the next hour. Yeah, it's going to hold that for a while, isn't it? Wow. 200 degrees at 25 knots. My goodness. Well, the good news is they have an ILS runway 19. So that's going to be the one we're going to end up using. I never briefed the departure, did I? I completely forgot. Nobody reminded me. That's alright, it happens. Let me hop on here, and I know the sound cut out. I'm pulling up the approach chart here. Come on, it's being slow. There we go. Wow. All right. So this is what we're going to be looking at. We're going to have to get out here to Watbu. Take that to DNW, Zibiv, Zazuf, Wamrup. Boy, those are some names, huh? Yusgu and Sosu. Out at Wamru, we're going to want to be at 8,700. We'll hit our descent point shortly after that, down to Yusgu, which is our final approach point, then to Sasu, and on in from there. So there's actually, I mean, it's not a real long runway, but it's plenty for this airplane. So yeah, that looks interesting. What do you say we start setting some of that up, huh? We got a little ways to go yet. We got quite a ways to go yet, actually. But why not? So, where is my departure arrival page? Let's just go to index, approach. Nope, that's approach reference. That's not what I'm looking for. Wait a minute. There's no departure. Oh, there it is. Departure arrival. Thank you. So we're doing the ILS-Z for runway 19. And the transition. Where is Tokud? So let me just show you what I'm looking at here. So Tokud is out here a little north of Watbu, which is this guy. So we don't really need Tokud, so we're not going to use it. So we'll just execute that. Now you got to go to the legs page because it doesn't always put them all in. So from Lundy we're going to go to, see, it took us, it just bypassed Watbu, Zibiv, and Zazuv, and went straight to Wamaru, which I think is alright. I think we can get away with that, but I don't really want to. So, because if you look at this, you go Wamaru, and then you're basically right on the approach. It's not giving us any setup time. So, I'm going to take us all the way out to the initial approach fix of Zibiv, Z-I-B-I-V. So, wait, I can't even, B-I-V. So we're going to go from Lundy to Zibiv. And then from Zibiv to Zazuv, Z-O-S-U-V. A little trivia for you guys. Does anybody know why the letters are in order like this instead of like a keyboard? Just curious if anybody knows. So Zazuv to Wamaru. So we can just click that one, put it right in there, and then execute that. And that'll give us a little bit of setup time. So at Zibiv, we need to be, it doesn't really give us an altitude on here, but it does say the minimum altitude between there and Zazuf is 9,800, and the angle we're going to probably come in at, we need to be a little higher at Zibiv than 10,000 feet. So I'm going to put it at 13,000. See if that works. It did. Fantastic. And then Zazuv, we need to be at or above 9,800. It doesn't say at or above, but the airway between Zibiv and Zazuv, the minimum safe altitude is 9,800. So what I want to do is I want to go slash, let's see if this works, 9,800, and then A for at or above. And it did. Fantastic. So 9,800 at or above at Zazuv, and then at Wamru we need to be at 8,700 at or above, which we are, so we're good there. So we'll execute that, and now we're set up for our approach. We could put in the ILS right now. I don't see why not. So 109.1. Get back here. So we'll just scroll that in there. There it is. And then I want our decision height to be 200 feet. That's a lot of scrolling. There we go. 200 feet. And we're good to go. We got a while to go yet. I mean, we got plenty of time, but what the heck? Let's have it all set up, right? It's a lot easier that way. Alright. What do we got going on here? All kinds of nonsense going on. You guys are running wild, aren't you? Jeez. Okay, I don't know if anybody answered, let's see. Okay, Chicken Metal, I don't know if anybody answered you on landing. I tend to float it a little bit, but here's the trick to not floating the aircraft. There's a couple of things. First of all, it's all about speed control. Okay, when you're landing the aircraft, you gotta have your speed. Remember, your approach speed is 5 knots over your landing reference speed. So if your landing reference speed is 135, your approach speed should be 140. And the idea is as you get down within that, 50-foot range, you're going to start rolling the throttles back. So when you hit 10 feet, you're going to 0 throttle. Okay? And you could wait till you get 10 feet. You're just going to float it a little bit. But when you hit that 10-foot mark, the throttles come all the way back, and you pull back a little bit on the yoke. Not hard, just a little bit. Okay? If you pull too hard, you're going to float it. And what happens is you're bleeding that speed down, and you just continue to gently pull the yoke back to hold it off and just let it settle to the ground. That's trick number 1. And I did do a landing tutorial on my YouTube channel, so if you haven't had a chance, check it out. I'm probably going to do another one in a larger aircraft to, sort of as a caveat or an add-on to it. That being said, the other thing you got to realize that'll help you with smoother landings is that 200 feet per minute is about 2 miles an hour. Okay? 200 feet per minute is about 2 miles an hour. So if you're landing between 2 and 400 feet per minute, that's not bad. Okay? A really, really smooth landing is probably about 120 feet per minute, give or take a little bit. All right? So hopefully that'll help you out with your landings a little bit. It looks like a few guys have already said that. It's an art. Hi DJ, welcome aboard. Welcome back, Serial. Autoland sucks. I don't like Autoland. I only use it if I have to. Shavam. Yeah, that's true. One of the guys asks an answer and 1 or 2 people are like, oh yeah, just do this. But now that everybody knows Chicken Metal's a female, you're like all jumping on board. Let me break this down for you. Let me tell you how this is supposed to work. And the truth is she could probably outfly all of us, so. Listen, it's not my fault that I'm high on approach, okay? It's not my fault. Now, we had somebody in here last live stream who didn't understand that high on approach did not mean that I was smoking a Mary Jane, and so he wanted me to get high and then try to fly the airplane. I don't smoke marijuana. I don't do drugs at all. I never have, never will. High on approach means I'm always above the glide slope. It's not a given, Serial. What are you talking about? It's not a given. Shame on you. I get a buzz from the approach. Who's the troll? Oh, what you mean last time? No. The troll wanted. That was some kid named Matt wanted me to crash the plane, and he wouldn't quit. Even said he'd pay me $500 to do it. So I told him if he donated $500 as soon as I saw it in my account, I'd go ahead and crash the airplane. Never did see that $500. Of course, he was 14. I don't think he's got $500. So good times. Good times. Oh, let's see, where are we at here? 23:38. Estimated time of arrival at the next waypoint is 22:43. So we got a few minutes to go here, and then from there we've got a couple 100 miles. This is a long flight. I chose a long flight. I don't know why. Don't ask. I don't know. Above glide slope equals 420. Shut up, Z. You people are all nuts, you know that? Of course, you have to be to sit here and listen to me talk for 3 hours or whatever. What time is it? It is. Holy cow, we've been at this for almost 3 hours. And we got a ways to go yet, too. So what's next? You use a Mac. Shh. Hush now. That's awesome. Well, you don't get away with nothing with this group, do you? Hey, thanks for the follow there. What was that? Trish Gaming? Is that what that was? Irish Gaming. I thought it said Trish. And then he put a little dog on there saying hi. You have to go check them out? Well, it's great to have you aboard, and there's no such thing. Well, there is such thing as a dumb question, but your questions weren't dumb, so you're good to go. Don't even worry about it. But it was great having you. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Taking off too, Evan. Well, it was great having you aboard, buddy. I sure do appreciate you joining us as well. Be sure to tell your dad we're all extremely jealous of what he does for a living, and we'll talk at you later. Irish, I'm keeping pretty good. How about yourself? Now, I'm going to have to go ahead and ask, Irish Gaming guys, are you from Ireland or are you just Irish? What does my work entail at the airport? Shivam, I am an explosives expert for the Department of Homeland Security. That's what my work entails. I teach everything having to do with explosives and improvised explosive devices. And now I have to kill you, according to Kaved. Uh-oh, Jeff is here. everybody, censor your chat now, I think. Jeff is on board. No, just kidding. How's it going, Jeff? 100% Irish and living in Ireland. Now I'm jealous of you as well. You can't be here anymore. Go away. I'm a pyrotechnic. What is a no, I'm not a pyrotechnic. A pyrotechnic is an explosive device. I think you meant pyromaniac. From the fruits and nuts. Yeah, that's about the size of it. You're leaving. No, I suppose you can stay Irish. Jeez. So where are you at in Ireland? The only downside to the delay is I see you guys write something on here, I say something or ask a question, then I gotta wait like a minute before I see any responses. A big cracker? Well, now that's just racist. The Northwest Coast. You're super high on this? Oh geez, here we go. So, Jeff, I'm going to just go ahead and ask, by super high, do you mean like above the glide slope, or are you smoking dope again? The northwest coast of Ireland. From what I've seen, all of Ireland is beautiful. My wife's got some Irish in her, and the rest is Italian. You know what that means, right? Nothing but trouble. Good looking, but nothing but trouble. The most fun one being high on approach. The most fun one is above the glide slope then, right? Kaved, you didn't hurt my feelings, man. I am not overly sensitive like that. I think people that are just being stupid. There's no reason to absolutely lose your mind every time somebody says something. So, you didn't hurt my feelings, brother. Well, there's a lot of time to kill on this flight, isn't there? So we got 200 miles till our next waypoint here. And let's see, 23:07 is the estimated time of arrival, so about 20 minutes. It's going to be a few. Well, you know, I'll tell you what, Irish. I live in Phoenix, Arizona, so I have absolutely zero sympathy for you and your weather. Zero. Come in. My children are being strange. I hear knocking and what sounds like barking, I think. Ah, the joys of children. I should see if they want to come in here. I know the little ones like to hop on here and say hi a lot of times, but they still don't understand that that you guys can't talk back on the headset, so. Your PC is without a cup cooler. You came on Twitch for Flight Sim Fix. How's a cup cooler? You lost me on that one. There's another cough for you. Hey, you know, I just mentioned it. Yeah. I just mentioned the kids want to say hi, but they need clothes on first. Go put clothes on and you can say hi. I don't know why, but they like to run around in their underwear like animals. Oh, because it's 105 degrees out. Well, that makes sense then. You gotta take her to work soon? Okay. Kaved is Kilo Romeo. But have to log on now. You mean log off? I didn't know. You never mentioned that you were Kilo Romeo, Kaved. Well, there we go. Fantastic. Well, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. And go away now. Just kidding. My wife just gave me a look like, what is wrong with you? Asus Z170 Deluxe chip, Intel Core i7 6700. Graphics card 1070. 32 megabyte memory hard drive. I would not do a 32 megabyte memory hard drive. Did she shake her? Yeah, the little ones like to run around in their underwear. And so do some of the older ones. It's ridiculous. Take care, Siobhan. It was great having you aboard, buddy. Appreciate it. Irish Gaming Guys is now hosting you. I don't actually know what that means. Irish, does that mean that you are running my stream on your channel now? It's kind of cool if you are. Z, you need a larger hard drive. I think you meant GTX 1070 with 32 gigs of memory. And then, what size is the hard drive? Hey, look. It's Yoshi.
It's Mario.
And Mario. And the insanity begins. Come here. Look right there, up at the top of the screen. Wave. Say hi. Say hi, everybody. No, don't bounce that around. Okay, let Raylan sit up here for a minute. Come here, baby. Oh. Look up here. See up here? Look up. Up. Say hi. Say. Usually you say hi, YouTube. Say hi, YouTube. I don't know if you guys can hear them or not. It's me. All right, little psycho. My children are insane. They get it from their mother. She just gave me a look like, yeah, right. All right, that was fun. Okay, darling, love you. Just got to take one of the older ones to work here in a few minutes. Where'd Irish go? There he is. So that means that my stream is running on your channel now too. That's pretty cool. I didn't even know you could that you could do that. That's pretty neat, man. 32 megabyte hard drive. I would definitely not buy one of them. Yeah, I wouldn't either. Even gigs, I wouldn't get a 32 gig hard drive either. You want to say hi? Did you want to say hi? Okay, turn your hat around. My 16-year-old's all embarrassed to show her face on the camera now. Get over here. Get over here. Look at the camera and say hi. Look at the camera. Look at the camera. Get over here and look at the camera. There's something wrong with her. You want to say hi, honey? She doesn't want to either. Hey, turn your hat around, doofus. You're lucky I'm on a live stream. You'll pay for that later. That was my 16-year-old. Off to work she goes so she can help pay the bills. Shivam had to go. Sorry I didn't get to say goodbye. Take care. I'm in trouble after this stream? Why is that? I didn't do anything wrong. Shh, please. I don't get in trouble in this house. My wife's not here, so I can say that. Oh, this flight's dragging a little. I don't think I'm going to pick flights this long for live streams anymore. I'm kind of stuck in the chair right now. I need to get up and walk around. No, I'm not flying with a joystick right now, Irish. I am using a yoke. That's this guy right here. And then throttles are hidden over here underneath. But when I fly Airbus or military aircraft, I do fly with a stick and throttle. I use the Cytec X55. Something stuck in my eye. You know, the downside is like this chair is comfortable for, you know, a couple hours, and then it's like, oh, back starts hurting. Jeez, I must be getting old. Yeah, I know, Shaker. I know. That's going to be some long flights on that one. So what Shaker's talking about, for those of you who maybe weren't on here earlier, didn't get a chance to hear it, Shaker's dad was a crew chief on a C-47 in the Vietnam era, and they did a flight over called, what's it called? Flying the Hump. They flew from the United States to Vietnam in a C-47, which for those of you who don't know what that is, it's a DC-3, just a military version. And so Shaker's managed to track down a really good freeware version of a DC-3/C-47 that we're going to use to recreate that same flight that his father did, flying the hump. And what we're going to do is actually we're all going to fly it together. Or anybody who wants to. I mean, you don't have to. But we're going to do it as a live stream. But rather than you know, just me flying and you guys doing whatever it is you do while I fly. We're going to go on to FS Cloud, and we're going to, you know, anybody who wants to is going to do the flight with me while I live stream it. So I'll be able to hop out of the aircraft, and on FS Cloud we should be able to see the other, you know, your guys' airplanes as well. And we're going to do it one flight at a time. We're not going to do it all at once because, dear God, no way. I mean, each flight is going to be really long as it is, but we're going to fly the hump. And it'll probably be, how many flights was it, Shaker? I don't remember. I know we talked about it, but I think it's probably seven or 8 flights or something like that. Irish, you definitely got to get back into flying, man. It's a lot of fun. Was I aware of the 1080 by Strix? I knew about the 1080. I knew it before it was even announced. I actually knew about it, and that's only because of a company that me and another guy have built, which sort of, I don't want to say we don't have an inside track, but we happen to be working with some people who do have an inside track to NVIDIA, so we knew about the Pascal architecture before it was ever announced. I don't know about Strix. I'm assuming that's one company that makes the 1080 that NVIDIA created. Now, I have a really good friend who's got the new Titan, which is now the new one is a step above the 1080, and he says that thing's just out of this world. It's unbelievable. So I was aware of the 1080, absolutely. Well, Irish, that's a tricky question. See, there are some folks on here who will be highly offended that you called this a game, myself not included. I don't really care. But they refer to it as a flight simulator, which it really is. If you'd have been here for the beginning, and if you want to catch the beginning, I'll be posting this as a video on my YouTube channel in the next couple of days. So just click the YouTube link down below there, and that'll take you over there. Hit subscribe, and then you'll be able to watch the whole thing. But this is actually a pretty in-depth MD-80, and this is Microsoft Flight Simulator X is what we're actually flying in right now. So now I will say this, I fly the boxed version, but if you try to buy the boxed version now, it's literally, this is retarded, it's literally like $200, which is stupid. But if you go on to Steam, you can get FSX Steam Edition for, I don't know, what is it right now, guys, $30 or something like that. Or if you want, you can go with P3D, which is still FSX. For anybody who wants to argue, go ahead. It's still FSX, but it's made by Lockheed Martin. You can pick that up for $60 as a standalone. So those are your options right now. Counter-Strike. Shut up, Jeff. Yeah, we try to get around in some different things in here, DJ. I don't know if you've followed me on Facebook or liked me on Facebook or whatever the heck it's called, friended me. But if you go over to my YouTube channel, click the link to Facebook. What I do is I usually come up with a couple of flight options for each live stream, and then I put it up to a vote, and you guys get to decide what we fly. So in this for this live stream, the options were DCS World and flying around in the A-10C and blowing some stuff up, or flying in this guy here. And didn't get a lot of votes actually, but the votes weighed towards this particular aircraft, so here we are. 8-ish flights? Well, I mean, there's no such thing as an ish flight. Yeah, the NVIDIA cards are fantastic. They really are. Gigabyte 10 series cards are pretty good too. Who makes a Gigabyte 10 series? Is that a company that makes the graphics cards, or is that like an add-on or something? How long is left in this flight, right, guy? Well, let's see here. Our estimated time of arrival for the next waypoint is 23:08, and it is currently 22:58. So that's about 10 minutes. And then we got maybe another 30 minutes after that. This has been a pretty long one. We've actually been at this now for, we just hit 3 hours right now. We started at 11, it's 2 now. my time anyway. So we probably got about 45 minutes left, give or take a little bit. The Gigabyte 1070. Irish, you know what? I've got a really good group of followers. They like to welcome people aboard, and with the exception of a few trolls that have come in here, most of the guys that you see on here are here pretty regularly, and they're also subscribers on YouTube. Good group of guys. So, you know, we're glad to have you aboard. I know most of these guys are too, and if they're not, well, then they're just being a jerk. So. But yeah, I'm glad you feel welcome here. You're definitely welcome on my channel, and like I said, hop on over to YouTube and hit the subscribe button over there, buddy. What's the major differences between the two? Between what two, Jeff? Oh, between Steam and boxed. Steam, you know, they say it's optimized a little bit better. FSX Steam. I don't know that I would argue in favor of that. I don't know that it really is optimized better. Thanks for the follow there, Mike Zulu Hotel. Nice to see someone else still flying this thing. Yep. As far as the difference between boxed and Steam, they say that Steam is optimized a little better. I don't know if I really agree with that. It's supposed to be a little easier to fly online through Steam, but it's no better. You know, to be honest with you, you get all the same choppiness and stuff. People still have out-of-memory issues with Steam Edition and so on. My complaint about Steam, more than anything, I have two complaints, actually. Complaint number one is to run the Steam version, you have to have Steam running in the background, right? So, let me show you what that means, because I don't think I ever turned it off. So, this is all the stuff that's running, right? Where is it at? Be easier to find on this side if I look over here. Steam Client Bootstrapper. Normally I just turn this off. I just haven't done it, and I won't mess with it right now. But you see that's running 37,000K. Okay, so you have to have Steam running in the background if you want to run FSX Steam. Whereas I can actually shut it off right now if I want. I can just end the process, and it's not going to make a difference. So that's my complaint number one. Complaint number two is, and now I lied. I have three complaints. Complaint number two is because Steam made some changes to the coding and stuff like that, some aircraft won't work in the Steam edition. Okay, so you know, if you have the boxed version right now, then you switch to the Steam version, you might have aircraft that don't work, or you might have to buy a new, rebuy a version of it, which sucks. Same thing with P3D. So I have a problem with that. And then problem number three is just Dovetail Games in general. I don't like the way they do business. They rip people off. They go on there and they put all this stuff on there. Oh, it's going to be fantastic. They make these great little trailers for things, like they just released their flight school recently, right? Have you guys seen the trailer for Dovetail Flight School, Dovetail Games Flight School? It looks fantastic, right? Well, when you first pop it up, if you read at the bottom there, it says not actual in-game footage. Okay, so it looks really, really, really good and realistic, but it's not actually the game. It's a cinematic that somebody put together. So then you jump in the game, and it's worse than default FSX. It looks like crap. So those are my issues with Steam. If you're looking into getting X-Plane Irish, talk with Z-Walla. He's on here somewhere. I don't know if he bailed yet or not, but if he didn't, talk with Z-Walla, because he does X-Plane, and he's got a YouTube channel dedicated to X-Plane that he just started recently. So talk with him, and he can get you squared away on X-Plane without any major issues. Yeah, Mike Zulu, the memory is management is supposed to be a little better in Steam Edition, but if you tweak FSX boxed version properly, you get just as good. I mean, I've got a good system, but I've also got this thing tweaked way out, so I've got my settings cranked way up, and I still, you know, like in this aircraft, right now we're at cruise, but you can see I'm jumping all the way up as high as 50 frames per second, okay? So, and then when I'm on the ground, like we're flying into Jackson Hole, I've got an add-on scenery for that, I'll still be around 30 frames a second. So, it really just depends on how well you tweak your boxed FSX. Irish, you say you play mostly simulators and then building games. Any particular types? Or some guys have asked me to do some other stuff on here, but this has mostly been dedicated to flight sim since the beginning. Aerofly 2 looks really, really good. I've heard of it. I've never actually looked up Aerofly. Is that supposed to be a joke? It's not that good? Oh man, I love me some Farming Simulator, buddy. I love me some Farming Simulator. I actually have a few American Truck Simulator videos on my YouTube channel, but they weren't a big hit with anybody except Shaker, because he drives a truck in the real world. So Aerofly 2, huh? Here, let me take a look here real quick. Delafino is now following. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Aerofly 2. Oh, this is an app. Right? Or can you fly that on the computer too? Almost time for a teriyaki burger. Serial like the trucking series. I actually enjoyed doing the trucking series. They were much easier than doing flight sim videos. You guys think I should start them again, huh? Do some American Trucking Simulator. Yeah, maybe I'll take a look at Aerofly, but there's something better coming. I guarantee it. Hey, Slap Shooter's now following. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the follow. Great to have you aboard. If you're a sir, we did have a fine lady on here earlier. She made us all look silly. Yeah, you should be able to post a link, Benny. I haven't blocked links, and unless somebody comes in here and starts putting a bunch of crap links up or trying to advertise things and stuff, then I'm not gonna block links. But if we start getting a bunch of trolls putting in links and tearing up the chat, then I'm gonna block it. Irish, you talking about American Truck Simulator? Maybe doing a convoy and multiplayer? I've never tried that. Why are you yelling at your screen, Shaker? Did you say something up above here? Yeah, that might be fun to do a convoy or something on there. Get into LSPDFR Police Simulator mod on GTA 5. You yell at the screen when I'm doing American Truck Simulator videos. Why? Am I that bad at it? I'm not that bad at it. We're crossing our waypoint here. Goodness gracious. How far are we from top of descent? Let's take a look here. Should probably pay attention to what I'm doing, huh? I don't even see top of descent listed on there. Kind of weird. Oh, there it is. Top of descent. Okay, we're not that far out. 80 miles or so. I have a GTX 980 Irish. I actually have, sitting behind me over here, I've got a 980 Ti. I just haven't mustered up the courage to try putting it in yet. Jackson Hole, Wyoming. That's where it is, Irish. And I've got an add-on for it, so we're going to see some nice scenery when we come in. I don't think I need that. I don't think I need that. Okay. I think I got what I need for our approach here. How are we doing on fuel? We're doing good on fuel. Fantastic. Alright. D3D or Fallout 4 tonight? Whoa, that's a tough decision too. I love Fallout. My wife is an absolute Fallout 4 addict. We used to play Fallout 3 constantly, and then when we heard Fallout 4 was coming out, man, we were all over that. Nuba World, I've never even heard of that. Oh, Nuka. Nuka World? Never heard of that either. You like some nice scenery in the flight sim. I do too. Irish, have you ever messed with or played around with DCS World? You're at 730 hours on that thing? Dear God, man. What are you playing while you drive? Alright, let's take a look at something here before we hit our top of descent point. So we're going to want to set up our landing data. This same speed chart, which remember, if you go to the 2D model of the panel and you mouse over this area here, it's the little white card, you click on it, and I just detached it so that I didn't have to do it again. If you click here where it says takeoff data, it switches to landing data. And again, this changes based on our current fuel weight and all of that stuff. So our speeds may get just a little bit slower than what we're going to set them at, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to go with a full flaps 40 landing because we've got a pretty short runway. So what we can do here, we take a look, we can see that 130 is going to be our VREF speed. My brain doesn't want to work and my nose itches all at the same time. So 130, so we need to be 135 is our V approach speed. So we can set now. Supposedly you can. There's supposed to be those little dots on here, but they're not coming up. I don't know what that's all about. So let's just move these out of the way. Okay. So 130 is our VREF. 135. Oh, get back there. Is our approach. And then it says our drift down speed from 18,000 feet is 229. Move that. What the heck? That's kind of weird, wasn't it? 135-ish. 130. Oh, you just keep pulling down, I guess. So 229 is our drift down speed. And 146 is our go around. Right about there. Give or take a little. That's what I'm going with. Whether we can change that to scan below us. I never did change the TCAS. It wasn't on the thing actually, but the TCAS probably should have gone to normal, and then we'll change it to tilt below once we get ready to start our descent. So Nuka World is the new add-on for what? Yeah, Irish, there's definitely a lot to learn in DCS World. I'm actually going to start doing some videos, hopefully in the near future, on DCS World. But there's a guy on YouTube called Bunyap Sims, B-U-N-Y-A-P Sims, who's got a lot of pretty good DCS World videos, so you can check him out. Autocorrect. So you're telling me Nuka World is an add-on for Fallout 4? Whippity woot, go away. Yeah, no worries, Irish. We'll be starting our descent here in about 20 miles, so I just kicked Whippity Woot off. I'm not having that freaking crap in here. Especially today. Brett, I answered your whisper, brother. I didn't know if you were still here or not. I'll tell you, my overall impressions of this plane, and I think other people have said it, it's a pretty large learning curve, but I like it. I like this plane quite a bit, as a matter of fact. Alright, coming up on top of the descent here. I apologize for Whippity Woot and his frickin' crap. Some people are just jerks. Anyway, coming up on top of the descent here pretty soon. Let's scroll this down here. And we need to change our altitude. So, if you remember, where are you at? This guy here. So 8,700 is where we need to be. This thing will do altitude restrictions on its own, which is fantastic. So we'll just scroll this down. Let's see. You know, I don't actually know how to change that so it's not doing thousands. Huh. We'll scroll it down to 7 anyway. It'll be fine. Now, last time I flew this, when it hit top of descent, it started to descend automatically. That being said, if there's an altitude restriction during your descent and it goes into this VNAV level mode, you have to hit the VNAV button again in order for it to start descending from there. Otherwise, you end up really, really high. So. Irish, done doing what? There will be a troll and he will be high on approach. Yes, yes indeed. Okay, oh good, you did get it, Brett. Fantastic. Okay, so you can see it started the descent automatically. I wasn't even looking, but it started it, so that's fantastic. You can see we're starting to get some good terrain mesh terrain in there as well, because I've got the terrain for Jackson Hole, so that's fantastic. And what's going to actually happen up here, and I might make a fix here real quick. So you see it comes up, kind of hard to see, but we actually cross over and then circle back to the left. Let's do this. Let's go to plan mode. And so as we step through, you see, so it comes up here and then it circles back. So what I actually want to do is I'm going to make a waypoint off of here. And let me show you how to do that. So kind of hard to see from here, but you can see Zibiv over there. I want to make a waypoint off to the right of Zibiv. And our current heading is, what's our current heading? Is that 13? No, that's 30 degrees. Okay. So we're headed at 30 degrees, so 90 degrees to the right of that is going to be 120 degrees, right? So what I want to do is I click on Zibiv, okay? I want to go 120 degrees off of that, and I want to give us a little bit of room, so I'm going to go 10 miles, okay? And then I'm going to put that in right before Zibiv, and then put Zibiv back in there. And you see what that does? You see this blue line? That brings us out here and circles us in like that. As soon as I execute it, this blue dashed line will turn to a magenta line. See, there you go. And that way we're not trying to make a really sharp turn right before approach. This gives us time to come out here and set up the way we want to. So there you go. Simple, easy to do, and you can see we're turning to line up for that now. So if we go back to the map mode, there you go. So you can see we were headed straight up this way. So it's going to turn and it's going to follow the course out and around here, and that's what we want it to do, really. We don't want it trying to make that really sharp turn at Zibiv. So easy enough. Problem solved. What else we got on here? Yeah, I'd love a break from the sun and come to the rain, Irish. You going to pay for the trip? Hey, thanks for the subscribe on YouTube, Irish. I really appreciate it. You know, in case you guys didn't know, if you haven't looked in a little while, we're like right on the edge of 2,000 subscribers. I'm still having a hard time believing there are 2,000 people who actually want to listen to me run my mouth. But then again, we got 23 people on here watching right now. Half Irish, half Scottish. That's kind of what I am. More on the Scottish side, though. Because we all know the Scots are better than the Irish. Watch, he's going to get fired up now. Wow, so he came in under another name, huh? Guess we'll be banning another one. That was awesome, Dick. So Aquali is Dolan came in and so, can you simulate 9/11 on this? Awesome. What's the point in what? You mean jerk off Aquali is Dolan? He just wants to be a jerk because he thinks it's funny. I told you Irish would get mad if I said that. Oh, that's funny. The truth is he's just jealous, guys. He's just jealous. Yeah, well, whoever it was will probably hop back on here on another name and do it again because they think it's funny, and I'll just keep blocking whoever it is. I don't care. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it because I know it's just somebody being a jackass. So, you know, I'm sure they picked today for, you know, specifically because of what day it is, but whatever. They're just jerks. Yeah, it is really nice scenery, isn't it? Did a beautiful job. So this is, the airport is done by Orbix, and they did a beautiful job on it. So yeah, really fantastic. I like it a lot. Getting a little turbulence there. We'll see what happens. I don't know if there's a way to report people on this or not. I know I can block them, but if you guys see somebody hop on with that crap again, if you can report them, do me a favor and report them for being a douche. Four Paws, how you doing? Alright, let's see, our speed's pretty fast here. Hopefully it's going to slow down. What's it got for speed down here? Drag required. Oh, there you go. Start putting some drag in. See if it'll let me change the speed myself. It will. Let's bring that speed down. I like to have a little bit more time to get set up, you know. Take the speed down to 250. Try 15, Serial. See, it's a good thing we came way out here to make that turn, isn't it? Okay, so technically we're below 10,000 AGL at this point, so I'm going to turn the landing lights on and I'm going to turn the nose lights on dim. Those won't come on until we lower the landing gear, but this plane does not slow down quickly. I'm good, Four Paws, thanks. You know what? The best tip I can give you, and this may be a little self-promoting Four Paws, but down below you'll see a link to my YouTube channel. I got tons of tutorials on there. I recommend you start there. And obviously you need FSX, because that's what I'm flying. So if you want to fly this one, you need to get FSX. And then by all means, go on to check out my videos, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. See how we're leveled out here, guys? We got to hit the VNAV button again, and it's staying level. So you know, you bump it a couple of times, and if it jumps back to level, that means you're on an altitude restriction, right? Which is 13,000 right now. So Zazu or whatever is when it's going to descend again. So, oh boy, it does not want to slow down, does it? Anyway, Four Paws, yeah, hop onto my YouTube channel. There's a link down below. Subscribe there, and then don't hesitate to put comments in any of the videos asking questions. If I don't get to them, there's plenty of guys on there that'll be more than happy to answer them for you. Great group of followers on there. So, and that's the best advice I can give you right now to get started. Why is this thing not slowing down? Is it because of the throttles? Okay. It is. Throttles are all the way up. It's trying to maintain the speed up at 292. Well, that's why. I'm just burning fuel right now. I said to slow down. That means I want you to slow down. You know, I'm turning auto throttle off. Do this myself. Yeah, I know. Auto throttle's off. I don't know how to turn that little thing off for some reason. It's just going to keep blinking. So, okay. So you see what happened here is it overshot the waypoint, and so now we're going to end up making a really sharp turn anyway, which is really going to be a pain in the butt. So I'm going to watch this thing closely, because I'm probably going to have to take control of the aircraft here pretty soon. Still at VNAV level. Let's go ahead and see if we can get it to come down now. It still won't descend, although it probably needs to. See, it's trying to get to Zibiv still. Okay, as it swings around here, I'm going to take the autopilot off. I won't be able to pay attention to the comments for a couple minutes, because I'm going to have to hand fly this thing in. So, yeah. We can get the slats out now.
Slats extended.
Let that speed keep coming down. We're not going to be flying the ILS, obviously, which is fine because we don't really need it. But just so you know, for your information, you just click the VOR localizer switch to lock onto the localizer, and once that's locked on, you click the ILS for the glide slope. Easy enough. Track IR coming on. Alright, where are we at here? There's the airport. Right there. Okay. Bring those throttles back a little more. And autopilot's coming off. There we go. Autopilot off. And I have control of the aircraft. Going to throw the first setting of flaps in. And guess what? We're high. Landing gear's coming down. That'll give us some drag to slow down. Throttles are all the way back.
Gear down. 3 green.
Confirm 3 green. After I land, we'll take another look at the comments and see what we got going on.
Flaps 15.
Okay. I'm going to let the airplane drop a little. Bring the next setting of flaps in.
Flaps 28.
Hey, look at that. High on approach. Big surprise. That's alright, we're good. We'll land it, no problem. Flaps full. Arm the spoilers.
Flaps 40.
Passengers are screaming in the back. I'm pretty good at this. The scenery's fantastic, isn't it? Definitely got a crosswind. That's just pure skill there, folks. Pure skill.
1,000.
A little bouncy, isn't it?
400.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
Oh, a little too much throttle there.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Like a glove.
2 in reverse. Reverse lights out.
What do you think of that, boys? Right down the middle,
60
too.
knots.
That was awesome. That's how we do it here on the Captain Mac channel, folks. That's how we do it. All right. Looking good.
Altitude,
Shut up. Altitude.
altitude, Altitude.
I don't know why it's giving me an altitude warning. Just mirrored that altitude warning just fade out. Lifted Life Gaming, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Great to have you aboard. If I can just figure out how to turn off this frickin' altitude warning. What, did I not set the, oh, I didn't set the altimeter. Fantastic. Hey, I'm on a roll today, huh? Oh, it's not letting me shut that off. That's annoying. And we got another following from DJ there. Fantastic. Thank you, sir. Can we park here? We can indeed. At least that warning got quieter. Alright, let's pull it on in here. I don't know why the altitude warning's going off. I didn't set the altimeter because I'm an idiot. But stuff happens, right? Alright, track IR coming off, parking brakes coming on. Let's see if we can figure out real quick how we stop that stupid altitude warning. It's got to be because of this, right? I don't know. The only thing flashing is this, and it doesn't let me. Maybe it's this thing? I have no idea, but the weather radar's still on, so the guys are getting fried. Well, I don't know why it's not. I mean, that's the altimeter right there, 3006, but anyway, let's go ahead and roll right into our shutdown here because otherwise we're going to have to listen to her all day long. Let's see, spoilers need to be retracted, which they are. Flaps can go all the way up now. You don't actually put them all the way up until after you get to the parking. Let's see. Radar's already off. She's still saying altitude. Pitot heat can come off at this point, which is this guy here. So pitot heat's now off. Pitot heat and stall heat are both off. It's kind of interesting the way you can flip through those, right? Let's see, what else? Radar's already off. It says start the APU, we're not doing that. So we're actually going to do this the easy way. Turn off the fuel. That shut her up. Turn off the battery. We got to drag it to the left. Drag it up. That's it. Power off. Simple as that. Let's hop outside. Get away so we don't have to listen to all the noise. I don't know why I'm getting all that shimmering or whatever you call it. Really good job on this airport. It's beautifully done. I love it. It's fantastic. I just don't like all that shimmering. I don't know what's causing that, but anyway, great scenery too. Fantastic. But there you have it, folks. There you have it. So what do we got over here? Did I miss anything good? Let's see here. Oh boy, I missed a lot, didn't I? Just stop typing. Okay. Chat about this channel. Watch lots of videos like this. Yep. Yeah, Irish, I am a real-life pilot. I have a private pilot's license. Hoping to get my instrument rating here eventually, so. What about my speed bug? Pat? I'm going to go with Pat, because I can't pronounce that. Is that why it was giving me the stupid altitude warning? Captain MM, which add-on is this, and hi. Hi back, Captain MM. This is the Leonardo MD-80. Somebody probably already mentioned it. It's right down there at the bottom of the screen too. Plane all jacked up following the flight plan. Yep, big surprise there. Crab it. I didn't need to crab it. I had plenty of drag. You just passed a plane on a flatbed tow truck. That's awesome. Dovetail Flight School help at all with the playing this sim, or is that something completely different? It's similar but different. I highly recommend you do not get Dovetail Flight School. Every time you guys type, this thing moves. Oh, somebody already said that. Fantastic. Thanks, Benny. Yeah, definitely not worth it. Thanks, Jeff. That was a sweet landing. I enjoyed it. The packs are probably not happy, though. Some bowel movements in the backs. Oh, good times, good times. Like a boss. Yep. I'm gonna have to do another landing tutorial. I'll have to do like a difficult landing tutorial, you know, where you're too high or something like that. Yeah, 2 red and 2 white means you're on glide slope with the PAPI lights, Irish. If you have VASI lights are, it's still 4 lights, but they're stacked instead of all side by side. Same thing, 2 red, 2 white. And then there's some different types out there that use like amber lights and stuff, but most of them use PAPIs or VASI lights, so. Yeah, exactly. More red. Yeah, serial back. That's correct. If you have 3 red, you're a little bit too low. If you have 4 red, you're way too low, and then vice versa if it's more white. And they're based on the angle you're looking at them at. So in real life, you know, on here when you come on to glide slope, like say I've got 3 white lights and 1 red, and as I continue to descend a little fast, and then all of a sudden the light changes color. In the real world, you can actually see it fade, because it's the color of the light you see is just based on the angle you're at from the light. No, I did not waste money on the Captain Sim 777. I did buy their 767 though, and it sucks. I hate it. Chat about this channel. There is a rhyme to remember it, but I don't remember what it is. I don't know what you're even talking about, Serial. Oh, because the speed bug was on 290. Yeah, the auto. I had changed it to 250, and then it kicked back up to 290 for some reason, and I didn't notice. So, yeah, I wouldn't do TTS flight school. I really wouldn't. If they're all red or white, I'm landing anyway. Well, if you want to do it properly, Irish, you want 2 red and 2 white to be on glide slope. And in a 747 in the real world, you would probably have 3 white and 1 red, because the height of the flight deck from the landing gear is like 53 feet or something. 4 green lights means you're in the grass. Yeah, it's something like that. 4 paws. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Alright guys, well, this was a lot of fun. I had a good time with this flight. It was a lot longer than expected. I'm sorry for all the flashing there. I really don't know what that's all about. It's kind of ridiculous, but this flight was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. It was a lot longer than anticipated, but we had some great chat on here. I really enjoyed the interaction, and for those of you who are new to the channel, you'll come to find that I really like to interact with everybody, not just here. That's probably getting a little loud, huh? Not just here on the live streams, but also on, let's just look at the mountains so it's not flashing. Can you guys still hear me all right? Hopefully. Not just here on the live streams, but also on my YouTube channel. I try to make it a point to answer as many comments as I can, and I'm all about answering questions and stuff like that. So, you know, I really appreciate the interaction. I appreciate you guys jumping on here. I mean, we've been on here for 3 hours and 45 minutes. That's probably the longest live stream we've ever had. So I just appreciate you guys hanging around and interacting with me and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun. As always, if you haven't had an opportunity yet, hop down below there. You can hit the follow button for Twitch, and also you can click on the link to my YouTube channel and go ahead and subscribe over there. And then while you're on YouTube, at the banner, on the banner up top, you'll see a Facebook icon. Click on that. That'll take you over to Facebook. Click the like or follow or whatever it is there, because that's where I announce the live streams now, and I put a vote in there. So I give you a couple options for different flights, and you guys get to vote, and whoever votes, whatever flight it gets the most votes, that's the flight we do. So just one more way I like to interact with you guys. You know, so we're up to, I mean, we got 26 people on here right now. It can be a little hard to interact with 26 people when you guys are chatting there and I'm talking on here, but definitely try to do it. So follow here on Twitch, like us on Facebook. You can also follow on Twitter. It usually tells you when I've posted a new video, and I think that's about it. So look for some information on Facebook for the flight I was talking about with Shaker, recreating the flight his dad did in the C-47, flying the hump over to Vietnam. Looking forward to that one. That's going to actually be several live streams. So the way that's going to work when it comes up is it's not going to be a vote. I'm going to tell you what flight we're going to be doing. I'm going to tell you what day and what time. And then if you want to fly it with us, you're more than welcome to. We're going to hop on FS Cloud. So if you don't have FS Cloud, go ahead and I'll post information to download FS Cloud, where to get the aircraft from. I'll try and see if I can put the flight plan up there, all that good stuff. And then what we'll do is we'll all hop on. Whoever wants to can hop on, and we'll all fly it together. We'll try to kind of fly a formation, and I can get some external views, and we can see everybody flying and stuff like that. So, and we'll do that one flight at a time, but those are going to be some pretty long flights. So if you guys are up for it, we'd love to have you. If not, if you just want to hop in and say hi and see how things are going, that's fine too. You know, but it's going to be a good time. So that's going to be coming down the pipe, I don't know, sometime in the next month or so. It depends on what's going on in my real world life. I may be moving here in the next few months. I'm hoping I'll be moving here in the next few months. Of course, if I am, then there'll probably be, you know, maybe up to, you know, a month and a half or so where I won't be able to do live streams or videos until I get settled. So I think that's pretty much it, guys. So as always, I really appreciate it. I appreciate having you all here. And just in case you've never heard it, keep the blue side up unless otherwise instructed by ATC. All of you, have a fantastic day.